We're rolling. We're rolling. We're rolling.
Yoop.
Yes. All right, we're back to regular programming.
Boats.
No more
6 feet apart. This is cool.
Sure. Yeah.
No teleconference.
No, I fucking hate the Zoom. I can't
Yeah.
stand it. It's fucking dumb.
Delayed.
It's a lot of cuss words already.
Yeah. Motherfucker. I'm just happy to be hanging out with two assholes.
Yes.
Two dickheads.
King of them.
We got King Dickhead, EB.
Ah.
And then the second Dick Duster Dickhead, Hopper. This will be a cool one because both of these guys built whalers. And I think Eric, it's cool too because if you have listened to the podcast, if you listen to old episodes, Eric flipped his fucking whaler too. On top of that, on the beach.
Did you get that picture I sent?
Yes, it'll be cool.
The trolling motor sticking out of the rocks?
I'm going to put it up on the thing. So when we talk about this, when I put the video together, I'll be able to put these pictures.
Show.
Yeah.
Cool.
And when we talk about it. So we'll start with EB because you know the history, a lot of the history of like Paracini and bringing the boats over from like the East Coast here and kind of making it popularized.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was more of a fan when I was a kid, just reading Western Outdoor News, and those guys were always winning. And it's like, what are they running?
Yeah.
18 Outrage, you know? So I just kind of, what's so special about that thing?
It's only the best boat ever.
Yeah.
Did you? Did they actually just bring them over and start like building them? Like they're like, what is there a boat that can do this?
No, I mean, that boat has been around since, what is it? Late 70s, early 80s? The 18 Outrage?
I don't know.
But
Don't
I
quote
don't
me.
know.
A long time.
I'm not like that much of a geek, but yeah, it's just been around for a long time. So those guys came out here and put a couple, like I call it the pommel horse, like a leaning post on the front of it.
Yeah.
And then Rich Marcel, the guy that really was into it, he was buying them and selling them. Fix it up and then sell it. Fix it up and selling it. And it just worked out good. It's just a dry boat that holds 60 gallons of gas. And it, you know, that's a lot for a 18-footer.
Yeah.
And it's rated to 150. So those guys were like kind of some of the first guys to start going out to Clemente and stuff. And
A lot of like when I've been on a couple boats. I've been on the Ranger.
Yeah.
I went on yours and I've been on Bobby's, and I'm like, dude, so smooth and dry. You know?
I don't know about smooth.
Not mine.
They say, your whaler ride's rough. It's like, I never had any teeth to begin with. What are you talking about?
So then your first one was what size is yours?
Mine's just a 15.
15?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have the 13.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah. Wow.
It's flat.
They're
Likes to slap
relatively
around.
cheap. Yeah, yours is the ball buster, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If it's blowing over 7, I don't go outside the harbor.
Really?
Mine's
Yeah.
the tippy canoe. Mine's like, but they all have their benefits and their weak spots too, right?
Yeah, you just got to go slower to
Yeah.
get to certain spots, but it's nice when you're fishing. I mean, my boat drifts great. I can have 2 dudes on the same side, and it doesn't list too bad,
Yeah.
especially for a 13. It fits in the garage. It's affordable.
His is way more stable than mine, which is, 13-footer. You'd be like, isn't your 15 more stable? Yeah, his is like,
Why so?
it's wider.
It's flat.
Really?
Yeah.
The whole, like the back 2/3 of it are pretty much flat. It has a slight cathedral hull, but other than that, it's pretty fucking flat, dude.
When you guys were looking for these things, what was the first thing you want to make sure that the boat had?
A good price.
Yeah,
Really? No, like-
price not too torn up. Some of them are really beat up. I mean, there's so many of them. They're like Volkswagen Bugs.
Yeah.
You find them in all sorts of conditions. So starting obviously with a good hull is
Yeah, dry.
imperative.
Didn't really care about the motor too much. Just the hull was the main purpose in the beginning.
because you're gonna. I mean, if you're planning on restoring it, I mean,
You
you're probably
repower.
gonna repower it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're one of the more easier boats to restore. Don't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, it's like fixing surfboards, polyurethane.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everything. Well, I went to this place called RevChem to buy all the fiberglass and resin and.
Did you
all
make
that stuff.
surfboards before, Hopper, or no?
I fiddled with it.
Okay.
I've made a bunch of them, but I've always repaired mine, and I'm familiar with working with polyurethane and epoxy. But don't put epoxy on a whaler. It's bad news.
Yeah.
Why is that? So what is
The two just don't bond really well together.
Well, the epoxy will melt the polyurethane.
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'm not positive.
the foam
but I'm
that's
pretty
in there.
Sure it'll,
Yeah.
It'll mess it up.
Did you guys have to refoam anything when you tore it apart?
I did not.
No.
I did. I did a lot.
Did you?
Yeah, I had a lot of the guys who had it before were spear fishermen, and they had just sunk stainless steel screws right through the deck to mount their console that was on there. You'll see in the picture, there's a picture of me standing in there with a beer. And that's how I got it originally. It had
What'd you use for foam?
I just used the great stuff from Home Depot.
Oh, right.
Really?
But the trick is you can't. So I had big areas that I had to fill, especially where the console was. I basically took all the foam out down to the fiberglass underneath. And if you spray foam in all the way up, the inside won't cure, which is what I did initially. And I had to dig it all out. And then I just sprayed a layer of it. And then I sprayed another layer and then another layer till it was all filled up. And then I just like cut it down. Then you take milled fibers and push that up underneath. It's like a whole process. We'll get into it later, but yeah, I did put a lot of foam
Cool
in there.
thing about it is if you screw it up, you can
Yeah.
just grind it out, sand it, and do it over again.
Yeah. Once the water gets in there from those screws, the foam literally gets cancer and it just turns brown, it rots out, and it's soft. Like you could push the whole deck on. When I flipped it, I had a couple spots underneath that were just bubbles. You can push them. Like,
Shit. So you had to cut those all out.
It takes a while too to dry all that stuff out.
You would
Yeah.
know how he'd be.
No, mine wasn't really waterlogged.
When you flipped it, it didn't.
No, because it was just over for an hour or so. And
Yeah.
it came up. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, you got
But
lucky. I was looking at those pictures. And
Dude, I was like,
I'm like, that's kind of like already nice from the beginning.
It was. Yeah. You look at what he did, what I did. Mine was just cosmetic. His was actually structural.
Yeah.
Did your dad's too? So your dad, you worked on that somewhat too?
Yeah, well, my dad bought that boat it used to be Rich Marcel's boat, and then, I don't know, a guy named Danny Wong bought it up in, I forget where he was, up in Torrance area, and it came up for sale because he wanted a 22. And so Rich Marcel called me. He's like, hey, I found a boat. It used to be mine. Go look at it. It had an Evinrude E-Tech with low hours on it. So we went up there, made a deal. I think my dad paid like $14 for it. And
It's a great deal.
yeah, it was.
It's incredible.
But like a couple, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months down the road or whatever, we had a problem. Couldn't figure out what it was. Turned out gas tank was leaking. And the gas tank in those boats is below the deck. Fortunately,
built in, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a huge panel that's all screwed in, and caulking around it and shit. Just cut all the caulking out, unscrew. But we had to take out the center console, gut the boat, and then have a new gas tank made for it. So that was a little bit of a project.
Did you, when you were doing that, were you like, fuck it, let's do more to the boat since it's all?
It was pretty good.
You didn't
the way
give
it
a
was.
shit, yeah.
No, and the motor was solid, and we didn't have a lot of electronics on there. Just 2 batteries and
Yeah.
a little combo unit on the dashboard. So it was like, okay, let's get this thing, get a new gas tank put on. We made it a little bit thicker. I think they come like 1/8 inch. We went like 3/16 or something.
Smart.
And then foamed it all back in, painted it, a few coats. So, if it does get water in there again, it's not. But so one thing about the outrage is they can leak a little water on the top, and the salt water sits on top of that gas tank. And we took it out, there was like pinholes everywhere. So the gas got contaminated. And then it filled up the ray core, and the motor didn't want to run. But fortunately, it didn't screw up the motor. So that's
Nice.
one thing.
Yeah.
Got to have that ray core, dude. Don't skimp on that, especially with the fuel nowadays.
Ugh.
No, I've had issues with mine where I've called EB and like, my fuel pump went out. That was the problem.
Oh, really?
From the fucking get-go. Because I kept telling you.
Yeah.
This was a year going on, dude, where
The gremlin.
I would fucking keep pumping I changed the line, I changed the bulb, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know. And then I talked to, Justin Hill. Justin Hillbilly, he builds baits too. You might. I think,
cool.
Yeah, he.
Maybe, I don't know.
He's a mechanic down, I think, for the sheriff, and he lives by me. So he's like, hey, I'll come check it out. So he's like, check your injectors. I took him to that place in Torrance, had him serviced, put him back on.
Really?
Still, we went out. Me and Phil went out and fucking died again. I was like, shit. And then he's like, check this out. So he gets takes the fuel pump off, pushes it. You put your thumb on there. Nothing's happening.
Oh.
And then he's like, look at the new one. You put it on there, it's sucking. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. So now it's running great.
Nice.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, the fuel is a big deal too. Now,
Oh,
and I
it's-
run 91 in mine. Do you guys run 91 or 87?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
91
okay.
only.
Yeah.
Put that fuel treatment in there, whatever brand you like.
Yeah,
but
that's what I've been doing.
the thing, I was reading an article the other day, and it was saying, when all this ethanol, the gas had to be compliant, all that, the shit that they took out of the gas is the stuff you need to put in. That was the stuff that kept everything working good.
Yeah.
They replaced it with ethanol.
But that's the shit that gives you cancer or what?
No, it just gums up the gas. The
Everything
gas.
gives you cancer. Right. And COVID.
Alcohol and COVID, huh?
Yeah. Good. Fresh gas.
Gas. The gas sucks. Fresh gas, a nice gas filter,
Yeah.
fuel filter, gas, whatever.
And for what makes the outrage? so much better than all the other models? Like, because I've heard multiple guys say, "Oh, is it the outrage?"
Well,
Is it
in my opinion, the thing about the Whalers, they don't do any one thing great. They just do a lot of stuff pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no storage on them. It's a dry boat. It's super light. I think the whole hull only weighs 1,200 pounds.
Wow.
So you don't need to power it with, you know, a big giant motor. You know.
I think my hull weighs like 3 something.
You flipped it on your own, huh? When you were working on it.
Oh, with 2 friends.
Two
yeah.
friends. That's good. That's nice.
We just put some. I went to the used tire dealer down the street and got some old tires. Laid them
cool.
down. I had it upside down on sawhorses, and then put it one side on the tires and flipped it, and 3 of us picked it up.
Yeah.
And put it back on the trailer.
Yeah, mine weighs like 500 or something. They're not light.
Same
I mean, they're
thing.
not heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a surfboard. It's basically a surfboard in a boat shape.
Yeah. They were. But there's like a lot of cool boats out there that people can restore that are
Like the
relatively cheap.
Is it Livingstons? Or kind
That
of
one's
like
a catamaran. That thing's cool.
Yeah.
Livingstons are cool. They're hard to find. They're
What
harder
about,
to find
what's
than
the other one? A
whalers.
Hobie or not a? Is it
Yeah,
Hobie
Hobie.
power
Is it?
skiff.
Those
Yeah.
are fucking bad.
I got a
those
funny
are cool.
story about that. You know, Dennis Killian in, what was his name? Arden Handline. We had a tournament out of Ventura one year. It was nasty. And we took off. The field took off. We tried, and we passed a couple boats, and a couple boats blew by us. And we get to the island, and those guys are fishing over there in that 15-footer. I said, how was it? Oh, it was no problem. I go, what? And we were just, you know, casing the back of every one. And he said, no, it just fit in. He goes, I was able to just jam the whole time because it wasn't launching and, you know, it's going in between the whoop-de-doos and not spanning them and cracking it. So certain times, that's a killer little boat.
Yeah, I looked at when I was right before I bought my aluminum. I was looking at those because I was like, man, I want something a little smaller, like you said, to fit the tools. Because right now I got to keep my boat under my patio cover because I want to have a garage still. Like I have a lot of tools. Same thing. I like to fiddle with shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's cool about both your guys' boats. They're pretty cool.
I had an aluminum boat before the one I have now, and I love that thing.
Yeah.
The only problem was it would get corroded and crack. And fortunately, I had access to a good welder, but I was welding on that thing like every 6-8 months. And it was a good one. It was a Gregor Baja Special. You know, it was
Yeah.
But aluminum boats, you kind of got to baby them or they leak.
And I don't like the decking. I can't stand. I want to have a clean deck, and I can't because it's wood with whatever.
Yeah.
And either I go wood with something, or I spend fucking
Oh, yeah. I remember we
thousands of
talked about
dollars.
that.
Yeah, thousands of dollars on fucking C deck and
Right.
have them do it. It's like I don't got that kind of fucking money.
Yeah.
You know, like
I miss my aluminum boat a lot of times. It's like bang it against the dock, or when you come home, just hose it off. There's no need to wash it. What are you washing aluminum for?
So you don't get corrosion and pin holes in it?
Right. Was that my problem?
fucking dickhead over here.
What do I wash my boat?
Come from the guy that's welding every fucking 8 months.
I just weld it every 6 months.
Okay. Yeah.
I got this saltwater flux. It works real good.
Right. Can of 5200.
Let's start with EB on your rebuild. Why you had to rebuild your boat for starters? I think it's on Bloody Decks. If you guys want to check it out, was there?
Yeah, Landis Fine wrote a little article.
So
maybe
Landis
that's the
Fine,
launch
It's
ramp.
awesome. It's so cool.
Yeah, and
I
it's,
still go back and look at it.
And we talked. We
rad.
talked about this before. I just kind of want to talk to you guys about it because I feel like right now a lot of people are buying new boats, and maybe this could help them when they build it because both these guys build a fucking sick ass boat. So
I get tons of questions nonstop.
oh, look at this fucking dickhead.
Nice.
Oh, see, you fucked the mic up. Okay,
Gracias.
that's gonna be-
Whaler project.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you.
But so let's talk about yours. First thing, if you've ever go back, listen to Eric's first episode. I think it was like 4 or 3, and he talks about what happened to him. So do a quick story. What happened?
Flipped it at Point Furman. Kind of a weird, just fishing too shallow, and then with my back to the surf, and I looked up, and there was only a, shoulder high set came in, and I thought I could get past it on the trolling motor, and I punched through it, and all the water came over the front and went to the back and just stood it up like a tombstone, and then just straight over the top. And we were, in obviously 5 feet of water or something, so we, everything's on the bottom at that point. But the guy I was with had never fished in the ocean before.
Oh, awesome.
And, yeah, so he was pretty, but he came up with all the rods, and I'll just toss them.
Yeah.
It had braid and stuff.
Yeah.
We'd get that stuff later. So the Coast Guard came, they flew a helicopter over, saw everybody was fine. and they, I think it was Boat US came and it's such a small boat. They sent a swimmer in. He put a line around the bow.
And then just yanked it fucking...
Just popped it and towed it back to San Pedro.
And remember, mention one
Wait, they
thing
just
about...
popped it out? What do you mean, popped it?
Like, he waited till the water came up, and it was kind of floating a little bit. And then he just went, pulled the rope tight, and it literally just rolled right back over on its side.
Sick.
And
Why
drug it
couldn't
back.
you have had a buddy come?
That's
do
what I
that?
almost thought.
We
like,
did. So here's the thing. Like, the lifeguards were there, too.
It's
but
kind of turning into a scene.
No, the guy, the watch commander, whoever, he was by the book, and he said, we can all just push this thing over, and you can just go back.
dude.
And he's like, nah, our boss won't let us.
fuck.
He's like,
And
I
There's
would.
always that guy.
Yeah, and the other thing, talk about the way the towboat thing works, because isn't it if it gets on the land, it changes the whole fucking price?
My insurance had lapsed that night,
Fuck, dude.
and I called Florida, beyond hours or whatever, to renew the policy. If the boat was floating and they hooked up to it, it would have been fine. But because it was on the ground, they call it a heart of ground or something like that. $3,600 to tow it back to
Fuck me, dude.
wherever, Cabrillo.
3,600.
36. Like,
He used like $20.
and the thing is,
in
if
fuel.
you have insurance, you better read the small print because it can stay in there, stipulate in there. If it's hard to ground, we don't cover that. And Boat US, unless you really know the guy or they're in a good mood, they're going to charge you because they're in the business to make money.
So if you flip your boat, guys, make sure you and your buddy push that motherfucker back in the water.
Teamwork.
Or just call it off and call it quits.
So then that's why you had to do the whole boat rebuild.
Yeah, I took it home, and my buddy's like, just run, James. So
Yeah.
run gasoline through the pistons and this and that, just cycle it through. And I said, yeah, that motor's ancient.
What motor did you have on
It was a 70 Yamaha 2-stroke.
Okay.
And it was a killer motor, and everything was rad, but
A
it
two-stroke.
was getting
loud.
long. Yeah. Smoky too. But yeah, so it was kind of like, so bring it over, I'll do it. Looking back, I should have, but I was just kind of defeated by the whole thing. I'm like, fuck, I want to repower this thing anyway. So
Yeah.
But then embarking on the rebuild, it took me 5 years.
Really? Oh,
Because it
fuck.
was more money and time.
Yeah.
Just working. I'd put a few $100 into this, do that. And I really
What motor do you have on it right now?
70 4-stroke
What kind, Mercury?
Yamaha.
Yamaha.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's
The
cool.
only kind that matters.
It jams, huh?
It does all right.
You take it to Catalina?
Before this all happened, yeah.
You have, really?
Yeah, I took it to Clemente with Reynolds one time.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, on New Year's Day, that was fun.
That's kind of crazy. 15-footer, huh?
Yeah, you can do it.
CJ's got he's actually selling his 15 right now. He probably sold it. This thing's so rad, but he would take it to Cat quite a few times.
I want to go to Catalina in my boat, but I'm just such
Oh,
a
dude,
baby, dude.
yours would be luxury compared to mine.
You'll be fine.
Just do a small boat mission, guys.
Get a couple
Have you
people.
gone? Let's
No,
do it.
not on mine.
Let's do it on
Dude,
yours, too.
You've never been on my boat.
I know. I've seen it, though.
But if we pick the right day, we can do it.
You're
but-
crazy. You guys are fucking
Nah.
crazy.
They don't sink. They just flip.
So you brought it home, and Eric kind of documented it in Bloody Deck. So if you look back, Lannis Fine documented the whole thing, but talk about you kind of went through it with the
I
fine
gutted
comb,
it.
right?
Yeah, I just gutted it. I took every bolt, every nut, everything, motor tossed it, everything gone. And then it was just all cosmetic. I had a bow rail on it before, and when it flipped, it kind of acted like a roll cage. So it was on the rocks, but the rail was
that's
taking
nice.
all the damage. So yeah, so I just scrapped that and just started. So like I said, mine was more cosmetic. His was actually structural. But I kind of laid it out the way I wanted it for the fishing that I do.
Especially with a trolling motor, did you do it a little different? Because I know most of them, it's like a bitch to put a trolling motor on.
It is on a whaler. It kind
Yeah.
of sucks.
Yeah, mine's
can't really hide
fully
the wires,
custom
right?
mounted.
You can't hide the wires.
No.
They lay, yeah.
But it's nice. I mean, if you can't really see it in the
Yeah.
angle of the
Yeah.
finished picture, but if you get the right wire, it's pretty. It should be at least like 6 gauge, depending
Yeah.
on the distance being ran. So that stuff's pretty
Yeah.
stout, and I just bent it over the shape of that little step where it has that hatch.
yeah. And
And
you
it-
C-decked yours too somewhat, right?
The whole thing's sea-decked.
How much was that?
It's a lot. It's worth it. It's awesome. I'm always mean to take it dirty. I'll fish it like 5 or 6 times, let it get super dirty, and then wash it. And it's like,
See, I want to know if it
Brand
really is
new,
that
dude.
much better than HydroTurf. Have you guys used HydroTurf ever?
No, but
No,
I
I
install
only have
artificial
one
turf.
boat.
I can bring you a piece of it.
I did it on mine, and I did it. The thing is,
Let's
it doesn't.
deck your boat in artificial turf. You're like the sea of green.
Oh, that'd be cool. Remember those Sanuk sandals that are artificial?
Right. The sea of green. Change the name of it. You can even put it on the side.
Fucking dickhead. Because I want to redo my deck, and I might do it with C deck, but I'm like, fuck, it's a lot of money.
Just sell it and buy a whaler.
My wife won't like that. Well, if
Hey,
my
it's a
buddy
trade.
buys one,
Just tell her it's an even trade.
I'm gonna have
Your upgrade.
I'm gonna have
Safer.
my
Sell it on the safer.
Yeah, more room for the family.
Hold on, I'll tell you guys a quick story. So we filmed that pilot, and Seth Niswanger, if you guys know he is, fucking dickhead, was driving my boat like a fucking asshole with my wife in it, trying to follow Bobby and EB in their
remember
outrageous.
that.
Okay, so she's fucking calls me. She's pretty much crying because she's scared. It's black.
You made your wife cry?
Seth Niswanger did, yes.
What a jerk, dude.
So I call her.
It's all your fault, Seth.
I go, hey, I'm gonna drive my boat, jump on, and we change it. So I get on the boat with my wife and EB, and she goes, Nick, I'm like, what's up? She's like, why the fuck didn't you buy a boat like this? And I'm like, I asked you. You fucking said no. What do you fucking
You
want
put
me
her
to-
on Bobby's boat?
No, I put her on EB's dad's boat, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Smooth as fuck. She's like, wow,
I got
this
dibs
is
on that,
great.
just so everybody knows.
And I was like, right. And I mean, fucking that. Like I said, both times I've been on your boat a couple times, and Bobby's are so smooth. I mean, I love,
But they're really not. They're just
but like
smoother than
Benny's-
what you were on.
Okay, well, Benny's
Yeah.
boat was nice, but it was wet. I felt, like a Ranger. It's a lot. I got really wet.
There's
Fast
always
as fuck,
give and take
dude.
on
Yeah,
those things,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like his is more stable.
What
Mine's
is-
cuts a little bit better.
What does Benny have? Does he have the Bahia?
He has the big one, the 20.
Oh, he's got the big full tilt.
Reynolds has the Bahia. That thing's
22.
pretty dry.
Is it 22?
I don't know.
No,
what size it is.
his is the Bay.
Oh, it's the
Ranger.
Bay. The
Yeah.
Bay is the good one. The Bahia's
Okay.
below the Bay. The Bay's the
Okay.
shit.
I like both of them. The only ones I could say I've been on is Garrett's is pretty fucking bad too. It's a brand new,
God, that thing's big though.
dude. It's fucking.
It's $100,000 though.
Yeah.
Right? Better be.
Yeah, right.
Dude.
It better be really fucking. It better suck a cock. For that one.
It's got the stabbing cabin in it and shit.
It's a whaler? What is it?
No.
No,
it's
it's
a
a
Ranger.
Ranger, big ass
Yeah.
Ranger.
Reynolds' old Key West. That was a killer boat. Those things were built really nice. They still are.
I had an Invader before all this, and I didn't like how tippy it was. But when you ran,
It was killer?
Dude, it
Yeah.
would chop through everything.
Well,
It would
that's
just-
what you. That's a
Yeah,
give and
that's
take.
a give and
you know?
take.
That's how it is.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
James's boat, though, that old, you were talking about maybe a Robalo. I won't even mention whose boat that one rides better than, but it's the best. It's better.
James Hamlin's old boat?
That 18
What was the
outrage.
dead rise on
Is
that
it-
thing?
It's probably 21, 22.
Yeah, that
That
sounds
was the
familiar.
one that
Yeah.
Leafson had.
No, it's a fiberglass boat. That 18 outrage. That 18 Robalo.
What did Jeff have?
Oh,
Wellcraft?
that was a Wellcraft.
Okay.
Yeah, 18 well. That's a good boat too.
Yeah, yeah,
Mako Stembridge is 17. That
Yeah.
used to be my dad's.
yeah. Oh yeah, we
That
talked
boat's
about that
badass.
too.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
A little more
There's-
slappy, but real stable.
But I feel like with the whaler, you can do it. You can freshwater fish with that too.
Yeah,
You
my
could take it
dad-
to the river. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
you could go to the DVL and stuff. And
Yeah.
you get right up in there like anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mine, I half of the reason when I chose to build a 15, half of it was for spotty fishing, half of it was for running the river.
See?
Because I was happy with the 15, but I only had like a 20 horse on there. And I don't need anything longer. I just need more horsepower to go, because I was going to Yuma at the time. And, a lot of times it's 6 miles upriver, 4 miles down, 3 miles back. And when you're going upriver,
Yeah.
it just took too much time. So I wasn't really needing a bigger boat. I just wanted something with a little more horsepower.
Yeah.
Well, this thing's rated to 70. I'm in.
Yeah, that's a fucking
So-
big
How
engine.
fast is your boat go?
It used to, with the two-stroke, it used to do like 45. Now it does around 40.
That's,
That's
awesome.
fucking fast.
I
dude.
could just me and saltwater. I can get mine almost to 30 with the 25, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's sipping. Tell them what you told me about the trip.
Whoa, bro, calm down.
COVID.
Those dudes all had mustaches.
That's why they were honking. They saw his. That one.
They sensed it.
Hopper, they're like,
Their stashes were tingling, dude. There's there's
Dick Duster Army. Fucking. What were you saying right now? Oh, how fast you can go 30 in yours?
Yeah,
because
just
you
me
have a
and
20,
saltwater.
25.
I have a 25. It's Yamaha's new motor that came out. It's lighter. It's like half the size of the old 25s.
You guys are both Yamaha guys.
I just went because it was the only 70 available that was light for mine.
I just went because Yamaha's the best.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm a Yamaha guy.
No, I heard that Yamaha's like, from a lot of people, that's the engine to have.
You know what they
see
say
it-
about 4-strokes, right?
What do they say?
They're like tampons. Every pussy has one.
Yeah, mine's nice and quiet. It's a quiet pussy.
It's a quiet pussy. What a fucking asshole.
No, I like that motor. It's good. But there's things I like about 2-strokes too.
Yeah. More
Yeah.
power, definitely, right?
Out of the hole.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, I had
Yeah.
a 2-stroke 35 on mine before I repowered it.
How
The
fast
old
did that
Mercury
go?
clamshell. I don't know because I never had a graph on it at the time,
Okay.
but it booked, dude.
Yeah.
We would launch it. I don't know how I never flipped mine. I was listening to his story about flipping it. I'm like,
That's
I
scary,
don't know how
dude.
mine still is not flipped yet.
You know what I like too is both of you guys like fishing where I like to fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Shut
like
up.
my.
So, anyways, what else?
I'm not going to say where,
I'm just
but I
kidding.
mean,
Everybody knows. Who cares?
Yeah,
you
but-
still got to go out there and find
That's
it.
a hard place to
dude,
catch
and
fish.
it is a hard fucking place. But I mean, I ran into, Hopper once there, and EB.
Yeah.
I've told. I mean, that's my favorite place. But I've been fucked there so many times. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
dude,
that's
Yeah.
how it goes. That's just fishing too, but that's definitely a fickle spot. It can get good.
Yeah.
90% of the time it's fickle.
Yeah.
There's always those magic days, but that's anywhere you go. Also,
How was
so.
fishing yesterday?
It was fun. We
Yeah.
kind of picked at them. We started on the breakwater.
How was the red tide? Fucking bad? Or what?
Streaky. It's starting to clear
Okay,
up.
all right.
So it wasn't everywhere. There were areas that were, like coffee, and the other areas like, oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
We fished the breakwater, picked at them until the sun kind of got on it. Ran a PV. Started at Furman, and I'm like, fuck, look at the swell. Oh, my dad's get out of here.
He's like, I know you, fuck.
Right. But there was some bait getting pushed around by calicos and stuff. And that's the trailer hitch?
I was like, what's hanging out of his pants? Now I'm gonna have to blur that out of the fucking video.
Right.
Thanks. I'm gonna leave it in, but it'll
I
be
seen
blurred.
it.
I hope you saw it.
I'm glad my eyes are old and not good.
He must have just trimmed.
You
Those
have
are
some
smooth.
big vagina lips there.
I seen that trailer hitch on the way here.
I know, right?
Oh, that was great.
He's blushing. So you
can
guys
tell.
know. So is Nick. I thought
like
he was
it.
brown, but he's red right
I'm
now.
like,
The seeds.
so you went up to PV?
Yeah, it was okay. But it's getting ready to go.
Yeah.
There was bait and stuff, and then Pops got him on the pixie stick, so that was fun.
There's
Yeah.
been bait. There's been so much bait out front. It's crazy.
And I like fish. The thing that EB does too is you fish a little lighter.
I tried to, yeah.
I've been doing that lately just 'cause
You
I'm
had that rod you had the other day.
You
that,
fish
that
pretty light
spinning
too,
rod,
right?
That thing was killer.
I fish light. I fish heavy too. Lately, I've been fishing rope, and they're eating the rope.
Really?
So
fuck
screw
it. Yeah.
But I'll fish light. Sometimes just keep it sporty.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
let's
like
put
doing
on some
that. It's
6
fun.
pound.
Yeah.
I did that with Joe from Performance one day, and we had so much fun. It was like just crappy conditions. There's like no water moving. It was like it looked like a lake, and we're fishing the spot.
Right.
And
I know this spot. Say it,
we
'cause I
ended
can
up
bleep it
fishing
out.
like
Boop.
we ended
We'll
up
do
fishing
dolphin.
like 6 pound, I think, dark sleepers, and we started roping them, dude. And it was on 6 pound, and you're in like 4 feet of water, and it was like made it so fun. And
Out
it was
front?
like-
Really?
yeah, and it was like fish that
Cool.
normally would be you'd like reel it in and be like whatever, like no fight. But when you put it on the light stuff, it's fun,
Fun.
dude.
Yokes.
And you catch more.
Yeah, you definitely
It's
get
nice
bit
to mix
more.
it up, you know.
He's
But
coming
if-
on tomorrow.
Joe.
Joe, Seth, and guy Justin. You know Justin Hill?
No.
God, he worked at, I forgot what marine place. Bill knows him, DePriest. I forgot his fucking, where he worked. But he works for the Orange County Sheriff working on the
Oh,
boats
cool.
now.
Right on.
Oh, that's what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
So I guarantee if you saw him, you know him. He's a big swim bait guy.
What are they gonna talk about?
We're going to make fun of Seth Nicemonger the whole time.
Yeah.
Poor Seth.
Have you scared the shit out of your wife?
Yeah. And he dented the side of my Luna boat. Yeah.
And all he eats is fast food.
Yeah. They call him the alley cat, right?
Is that true?
Yeah.
The first time I met him, he was talking about like eating trash food.
See, he does a dumpster dive, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. Let's get back to the whaler talk. So when you rebuilt yours, you got to do everything you wanted to do to it because you're like, fuck it.
I just took forever.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just racked my brain over how I wanted
Go
it to
over
be.
it because you can kind of like point out some like main focal points like of like, hey, check this shit out. Like if you're
Well,
gonna do
I wanted
it.
mine like low because I would go under docks and stuff, get all the way to the seawall and then go under people's docks, you know, and literally get on your hands and pull. And guy would come out with a garden hose, get out of here, you know.
Really?
Oh yeah, I got a guy pour a cocktail on me one time when I was young.
Were you like,
yeah, and his wife's like, Larry, that's not nice. But I don't do that as much anymore. But I wanted it low. Like some places in Yuma, you got to get through the bushes and stuff. So that was one of my big things, keeping it low. And
Yeah.
that was important. But like, you know, Eric Bombard.
Yeah, he's got a sick 15.
Yeah, he's got
Does
one,
he?
and his is set up more for salt, and I love the way he's got a little center console. I think out of a Carolina skiff, maybe. Got a leaning post with a bait tank underneath it. And he's got
Is that the type of boat he has a Carolina skiff?
No,
No,
his
that-
is a 15
That's
wheeler.
the-
Yeah.
Okay.
But he took a console out of a
Oh,
Carolina
and put
skiff
it,
and put it in there.
I thought about buying one of those too. They look pretty cool.
They're cool, yeah.
But you could buy a lot of pre-made consoles.
Really?
That's what's cool is like, mine's cool for what I do. It's a nightmare to sit in. It's totally uncomfortable. There's no padding. It's all wood, but it's really nice to fish out of.
Yes.
So I didn't
And
build it for comfort.
maneuverable,
Yeah.
easily to trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, his
that's
fits in his garage and
gas.
stuff.
Dude, that's good. That's good.
I mean, Just
I
give and
encourage
take, you know.
people to do like you don't necessarily have to go to the extent that he did, but I mean, buy what's the kid's name? Nick Arendt from Lateral Vision.
Yeah.
he just did one and kind of tricked it out. He bought a cool aluminum boat, but he did some mods to it. and
Oh,
made it
his
the way-
little aluminum one. Yeah.
Yeah, so
he
that's
sold
killer.
that one, right?
He did.
He
I
got
didn't-
He just got a new tracker.
Yeah,
Oh,
got a
really?
boat.
Fucking sellout.
Oh,
Nick. No, I'm just
We
kidding.
talked about it, and I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, I'm going to get it. And he got it. Sounds cool. He seems to really like it. I saw a video of him actually running it, and it was hauling ass, dude.
It's like mine.
Like, must
I
be
think it
nice
has
to
a-
go fast.
I think it has a 50. It has a 50.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
it's like mine. It's
And it's
same
cool. It's
width.
brand new. He got
Yeah.
a brand new boat. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
like,
he's stoked.
Nothing's
Yeah.
going to go wrong with that thing. He's
No.
just going to have
You
fun
would
on
think
it. And
mine
then
was
sell
brand
it.
new, and I injector went out twice.
All right.
Yeah, I'm in law almost.
It's those 4-strokes.
Yep, the Mercury. I
Isn't
guess.
it a Mercury, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Like
See a pattern?
now,
Kind of weird. See a pattern here?
that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, fuck, man. I mean,
Right.
I mean, shh.
When I
Two
went to
times,
repower
man.
mine, there was no doubt that I was getting anything but Yamaha.
Did you do it yourself when you repowered?
No, I went to Maurer Marine and bought
Okay.
it from them. and
No,
they
did you install it yourself?
No, they
They
installed it.
installed it. Okay.
Yeah.
You think it'd be that hard to install or no?
I've never
just
done
heavy.
it, and I don't have any way to like hoist
Like a
the
cherry
motor
picker or
up.
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm like, you have to drill 4 holes in there and through the transom like perfectly. I'm like, I'll just pay them to do it.
Yeah.
Same thing with the gel coat on mine. I paid somebody to spray it on.
Oh, did you?
And then I sanded it because I'm like, I don't have a compressor big enough to spray this thick ass gel coat, let
Yeah.
alone a gun, and then worrying about it like kicking off in the container and like.
Yeah.
I'll just pay somebody to do that. I did all the sanding, all the hard work.
What did? Let's talk about when you got your boat. Like, what made you pick that one out?
It was honestly the first one I looked at.
Really?
But it was good. I went with Chris Lillis.
Yeah.
And obviously he'd been around a ton of boats. I'm like, hey, I want to look at this boat. Will you come with me? And he's like, yeah. We get there. The guy starts it up. It fires right up. The price was right. And
How much did you get it for, if you don't mind me
I
asking?
think it was like low threes, like 3,200 or something. Dude, I got it from, I went and tattooed my buddy's Air Force friends in a hotel for a weekend. And just, I literally tattooed for like 20
you
hours
talked about
a day.
it on
Yeah.
this story.
Really?
dude.
To pay for it?
On
Yeah,
this
and I
fucking
made
podcast.
I made all the money for it in a weekend.
killer.
And I'm like, I'm gonna buy my boat.
Maybe doing something else.
Yeah,
maybe.
right.
Hey,
Whatever.
maybe cleaning
in that hotel room?
using
Yeah.
that dick duster,
If
put
you
it into
hadn't
work.
just shaved your mustache off, I'd tell you that you're out. So.
You showed me all your techniques.
Would you say those were Navy boys or Air Force guys?
It doesn't matter. It's personal.
It's all the same.
Mind your business. I'm gonna start
is
crying.
Hey there, sailor. How you doing?
Either way, hey, moral of the story: I have a boat now.
Is that why it's called the Little Cruiser?
Exactly. It's the little minnow fish.
So when you were just looking at Craigslist.
I'm done. My feelings are hurt. Just gonna drink these beers.
Oh fuck!
Make my wife come pick me up.
Right? Just put your head straight into the microphone.
How'd it go? Don't want to tell you.
I want to talk about EV's trolling motor mount because that is a motherfucker for anybody who has a whaler trying to mount a trolling
I love
motor.
how he's being so, oh, guys, just don't worry about it.
That thing was a nightmare.
about my dick sucking.
Let's talk more about sucking dicks, dick dusters.
If I'd known you'd be so homo, I would have worn my sheer shorts today instead of jeans.
No, got guys hanging their fucking
Is it
balls
from the
out
waist
over
up, right?
Why are you sweating, dude?
I can't help it. You guys start
all
talking about,
work-
hey, you
all
guys start
worked
talking
up.
about dicks, I get all sweaty.
Makeup. Powder.
Anyways, that's a serious thing I want to talk about is trolling motor mount on the whaler because everybody who has a whaler wants to put a fucking trolling motor on there, and it's impossible. It's so difficult. So how'd you do yours? And then
Yeah, what was your
I'll say
idea?
mine.
Fuck. Well, obviously it ripped out from the first time, so it didn't stay on that good.
That good.
Yeah, sorry you can't flip it and bash it into
Right.
rocks and it won't stay.
No, what we did is I found a fucking thick piece of rubber that was almost like tire material. And you know how there's that flat area, but it's not completely flat?
It's not flat on mine at all. It has like probably at least a 12, 15 degree
Oh, shit.
break on it.
Mine's reasonably. So I just contoured that thing with this disc sander and laid it on there and put a straight edge until I got it flat.
So you sanded the rubber with the angle grinder?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then it was that, burly shit. Like they used to make the sandals
Where did you
out of
find
necks
Why did you do that though?
to get it flat.
Exactly.
Hey,
Because
where
if it's
did-
at an angle,
It
you're
just
wasting
pinches,
torque.
yeah.
Where did you find that piece at, though?
I don't know.
You don't remember what it was? Or anything?
My dad's got all kinds of that
I
shit
did,
around the garage.
So that you apparently you ran into the problem where
But you could have done it with wood or starboard, I guess.
I use really thick starboard I got from Industrial Plastic Supply.
Let me
in
ask you a
Anaheim.
question. How much did that cost?
It's free. It's free.
Motherfucker.
You can pay.
Tattooed him in a hotel.
They have a whole
Sucking the
pile
dicks.
out front. You don't need a big piece. They have a whole
Yeah.
pile
Really?
out front
They have
of
a
cuts.
piece? Oh, shit.
And if you go in there and you're cool and nice to them, the prices are on there.
They'll give you a
And
deal.
you're like,
Yeah.
hey, I want to buy this piece. And they're like, every time I've been in there, like, just take it. That's where I got the acrylic to make my windshield.
Fuck.
And then, so I think it was at least like an inch thick starboard. Because it's, like I said earlier, it was a big, I don't
Contour
know if
on
it's
the-
a rise, but it's like a contour on the rail.
So
It's
you
not
had to
flat.
angle that piece of starboard.
If you put your trolling motor on the stock whaler rail, if it doesn't have the pads like his has on the early 80s and up, I think mine's like a 79. It was right before that. So mine's real thin. It doesn't have that pad in the corners. And it drops down. It's like, see in the camera, it's probably like that, So I took the starboard with the angle grinder, same deal. I cut it out to that size and then just ground it for hours. I was like just thick black plastic all over me. And then just slowly like chipped away at it until it was flat. And then I cut a piece of wood, the template of the trolling motor mount, put that on it, and then bolted it all through like straight into there.
And do you have the removable kind, or you just leave it on permanently?
You could take it off, but I leave it on.
Yeah. You had tiller before.
I had a tiller. I love the tiller. I wish you could still buy a tiller, but now I have a remote.
You can't get them used?
I just bought it. I actually just
How did
paid
you
off
anchor
my
yours?
loan yesterday.
Nice.
You just what?
I paid off my loan for my trolling motor yesterday.
Those things are fucking expensive.
Yeah.
I bought the-
$1,500, dude.
How much?
$1,500.
Yeah, I know.
Plus the batteries, and if you get a good battery, I got Lifeline. Thanks to
Yeah.
this guy.
Dude,
laced me up.
I've been running
Those are cool,
Walmarts
yeah.
every fucking 8 months.
Dude, I was
Get
like,
the
I'm like,
Lifeline,
hey,
dude.
EB,
Those-
what batteries should I get? And he's like, get the Lifeline. Don't even fuck around.
How much
you
are
can
they?
mount them any
They're
angle.
twice as much as a normal one.
Are they
but
like an Optima?
the last 3 times as long?
They're more than
Better
Optima.
than Optima.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
Almost like
gel.
an Odyssey, kind of.
Because I feel like my shit's losing power with the Walmart batteries after 6 months. I'm
Yeah.
like, done.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
get a Lifeline.
How
I
much
just
is a
replaced
Lifeline?
mine. They were almost 6 years old.
Fuck, dude.
There's a dealer in Costa Mesa, but make sure you know what you want before you go in there. Cause
You got to
dudes-
know the group. You got to do all the shit.
Yeah, because what works on mine might not work on yours, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Why?
There's so many variables.
So I've got a 24
how long-
volt trolling motor.
So do I.
So I was able to get 2 small ones and combine them. But then you have to look at like reserve capacity, right? And your
yeah.
cold cranking out or whatever the numbers are specific to that trolling motor,
Really?
or even your starting for your main.
Do you run your main on? You don't run your main on those
I got
motors?
3 small ones, and I think each battery weighs 20 pounds, 22 pounds.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
not.
see, this is shit I wouldn't like. Even anyone that's going to put a trolling motor in their boat, any boat, I wouldn't have thought about it. I just Googled shit and put, all right, get 2 fucking big ass fucking RV batteries.
Especially on a boat, too.
Yeah.
It's so heavy,
The lifelines
dude.
are gel, so you can slam those things. You can
Yeah.
mount them any direction you want.
Good
You
point.
don't have to worry about them
Mine are
leaking.
mounted on their side.
Yeah, mine too. Well, the cranking is upright because it's smaller.
You can put them on their side?
Yep.
Yeah.
No way.
And my
Yeah.
deep cycle is on its
Fuck,
side, and
dude.
it wedges like perfectly under my seat, between the sea deck and under the seat. And I built like a little mini starboard wedge with more sea deck under it. They give you like samples, and I just like shove it under there, and it stays perfect. It'll wiggle a little bit. I'll just like kick it with my heel when we're fishing if it comes out after running.
Yeah.
And it's fine. But that battery is awesome.
And you
dude.
can charge them fast too. Like if you've got an adjustable battery charger where you can crank up and you come in and you want to go back out again, especially when you go to the river, you can just whack them with
yeah.
power.
Yeah, they charge
right?
fast.
Yeah. An hour, they're back up. Hour, a couple hours at the most.
Yeah.
If you
What kind
really-
of trolling motor do you have?
It's an old school
Tiller?
No, it's a cable foot control. So it's a saltwater one that they painted to look, like for the ocean, it's white.
Later
But it's
on,
really
Phil.
just an old.
It's a Minn Kota, right?
No, it's a motor guide.
Oh, is it?
But it's 82 pounds of thrust, 24 volt. So
Dang,
on a
that's cool.
15,
What do you
it's
have,
killer.
70?
I got a Minn Kota, I think it's 55 pounds thrust. It's a 12 volt. It's the
pretty
smallest one they had.
Really?
Yeah, it moves my boat okay. I wish I had more power, but I'm also not going to put 2 batteries on my
No,
boat. So I'll just
fuck
deal
no,
with it.
dude.
Yeah.
Like if I'm fishing under a bridge or something and the current's ripping, at full power, I can move up against it at like 2 miles per hour. I took it to Colorado and fished out there in the river, and I was able to troll
When you guys fish
upriver.
Colorado, where are you fishing at?
None of your business. In the river.
Look at this fucking asshole. Do you guys go
Just,
by?
they're everywhere. They're everywhere in there.
Because
dude.
you know where I stay a lot. Just,
Where?
You can. What's the Aquarius?
Where's
I don't
that
know
at?
what you're talking about.
He knows where I'm talking
I
about.
have no clue. They're everywhere. They're all in the river. Fish. They
Well,
swim
you know where I
around.
love
Just
fishing.
go catch 'em.
Favorite is it Catherine's Landing?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I love
Lake Mojave?
Yeah, I love fishing out
Yeah.
of there, dude. It's so fun.
And then the other
I'll
one
tell you
is
later, but
Cottonwood,
not on here.
Cottonwood Cove, but that's way up
Because
further.
I think, I was gonna do a charter for my birthday, but I don't know what I'm doing now because it's COVID shit. Like I was gonna do a bit like a rent out a boat, have
My
like.
phone must have been broken.
I haven't planned it yet. So I was gonna have Aaron Graham, charter him out of the his boat, and then just have all kinds of dudes come on, hang out, and
That'd be cool. That'd be
try to
fun.
go try to catch a
Houseboat
yellowtail.
it?
Try to go get a yellowtail.
a charter out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I
have
thought
you
you were
caught
talking
one
about
yet?
Cottonwood
No, I haven't
Cove.
caught a fucking yellow. I stopped talking
dude.
about it. People got mad at me.
Really?
Yeah. Because I kept
cares?
saying
Right.
I'm
Fuck
a
it.
fu-
Everyone's so
fucking
butthurt
dickhead.
these days. Dude. Get over it.
Get over
Put your
yourself.
mask back on.
Oh,
This is great.
shit.
So you have the cable guide at 82,
Yeah.
85 pounds
Just
of
a
thrust.
old foot-controlled cable steer.
No issues.
Never. Knock on wood.
You ever broke a fucking cable?
Nope. not
I
yet.
have. I did.
Have
on
you?
mine. Yeah.
You
The
have
old
one?
one I had, motor guide.
Oh.
I love the foot pedal.
Watch, mine's going to break next time. Fuck, Nick.
That's why I fucking told you right now. Fucking dickhead.
Right.
No, I have the same thing. I have the remote, but I don't like it.
I didn't
couldn't-
like mine at first. You kind of get used to it, but it's
You
not.
do, but it's
It's not the same as having a tiller where you can like.
You
Especially
couldn't
when
get a
you're-
tiller for yours?
They don't make them
'em
anymore.
yeah.
They really?
Yeah.
God,
I
you're shitting
ended
me.
up giving my tiller away. Andy gave me mine, a Ruru. He actually gave me 2.
Oh, really?
And then I used the one he gave me for a long time.
I want to get him on. I
solid
heard
year.
he's fucking hilarious.
Andy's the best.
He's
I talked
cool.
to him
That guy
when
read-
I
I wish he
fished
lived like right next to me, so I just hang out with him all the time.
we talked at the SBS. And,
Did you talk forever?
for a minute? Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
funny.
he's the best.
Because
dude.
we were
He's
sitting
so
there
good.
when
Good people.
we were sitting there waiting for the weigh-ins, and it was like fucking me and Leifson were sitting there forever. And then my goal is to be Bobby, and we did.
After he taught you a secret.
Yeah,
I
he showed me
missed
secret.
that part of tournament fishing. It's like, oh, well, we didn't do good, but we beat those guys. It's always fun.
It's funny because Jeff went to weigh in, and he's like, Garrett walked by him, and he's like, "How'd you guys do?" And Jeff goes, "Oh, we did like 9 pounds or something." And Garrett's like, "Fuck." He goes, "What? We did like 8 something." And he's like, "Nick's never gonna fucking let us." I'm not. No, I'm not.
That's good.
That's I think, and that's what I learned from tournament fishing was the whole day was worth it just to fuck off.
Yeah.
Like to fuck off and like
especially when you're like older and have responsibilities. You
give a
can't
fuck
fish all the
about
time.
doing this,
Right.
dude. It's like it's fun.
Just
to
excuse to go out. You're like, no, babe, we got a tournament. I gotta go. Like, sorry.
Dude, he's like, we're gonna sleep 2 hours, and I'm like, no, we're not.
Sure
I was
as
up
shit.
at 1 o'clock tying fucking A-rigs, making shit. My wife walks out. She goes, "It's fucking 1:30." I'm like, oh shit. Me and Jeff are fucking still putting shit together. I'm like, I didn't know. This is my first one. It was a great experience. Like, it was.
I've never fished a tournament.
You're so charged after, though. Like, I got home and I was just stoked to, like.
You can't go to sleep.
I was like, dude, I thought I'd be tired. I'm like, let's get more beers. Fuck yeah.
The next day you're erect.
Done. You're done the whole
next
fucking.
2 days.
Yeah, dude.
I love like tournament prep the night before. You hear so many funny. I heard a funny story. I don't even know who I said. If I should say who it was.
Don't say who it was. Just say the story.
But this guy would fish freshwater bass tournaments, and he would just get hammered on the way there. Freshwater, he'd get so plowed that he would pull in with his truck and his boat and block the launch ramp, so that people would come wake him up so he wouldn't oversleep for the tournament.
What a great idea.
You're blocking the launch ramp. Wake up. All right, cool.
All right, let me launch.
And then
first to launch.
And he was first to launch too.
Hey, did you see Diamond Valley? The
Yeah, that
videos?
was crazy. We were talking about it earlier.
150 boats.
No shit.
Yeah.
Insane, dude.
I should have just had a tournament. Fuck it.
Dude, I heard people say I heard people say I caught one fish and then all the boats came on the water and that was it.
Yeah.
Was that the first day it was open?
Yeah, that was
Wow.
Friday.
The fish didn't look so hot either. They all kind of like thin. from
Skinner,
the
had you ever
pictures I
seen
saw.
anything from Skinner or no?
No, I haven't
No.
fished freshwater since the kid's been born. I thought before I'm so
It's too
retarded.
far,
I'm
huh?
like, I'm just gonna fish every Wednesday. Like, had this long talk with my wife. I'm like, Wednesday's gonna be my day to go.
I think
fish.
I
Like,
remember talking to you about
That's
this.
correct.
You're
Yeah.
like, no, I'm still gonna. She knows I'm gonna fish like this.
No.
and I'm like,
That's funny.
it's not gonna happen like that, my friend.
Why didn't you warn me? Also, this PSA: anybody having a kid, watch out for your families. Don't worry about anybody else. Your family is gonna be crazy.
Yep.
Can I come over? Can I come over? Let me come over.
Hey, don't
How's
worry.
he?
That shit goes away in about 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, once he
After
starts
you have
getting,
your third one, and they're like, "No, we don't want to watch your kids."
Ah,
All
dude,
right, fuck
I'm on
you.
like all my sister-in-law cases, my brother. I'm like, come on, dude. He's the pressure off me. All my cousins, I'm like, hey, did you get her pregnant yet? Like, come on, what you guys waiting for?
Hey, you guys fucking.
Oliver's getting all worn out.
You need to. You know what you need to do is you need to get all the babysitting in right now.
Oh, I don't
That's
have
what-
anybody
Oh, right.
sit. I just rather watch it myself.
Yeah, but if you go do some shit, go fishing. Take it to your. Take him wherever, dude.
Right.
pretty soon he's gonna be on the boat all the time.
He's like, "What's up,
anyways.
bro? I'm fucking fishing with Dad today."
Check this out. So when all this shit started in the quarantine, Tammy's got 3 kids at home, teenagers. She works from home.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a dedicated office. Fuckers came in through the kitchen. She's like, hey, when I'm on the phone, shut your fucking mouth. You know, I'm not doing serious business because they're at school. They don't realize it.
Yeah.
So she warned him. She's all, listen, last time I'm warning you. They came in, where's the cookies? What? That's it. Finished the phone call, went out into the garage, grabbed the tent, threw it in the car, get in. All 3 kids, drove them down to the park, get out. Made them set up the tent, see you in the morning, made them spend the night in the park,
Oh, that's so
in
awesome.
the tent. She says, I went by a couple
Here's
times.
some Cheez-Its.
And it rained that night. So the next morning they came home all just defeated, soggy.
Guess what? They shut the fuck up.
Yep.
I'm surprised they didn't get arrested for being next to each other in the park.
Do you see? Do you think they're gonna do that shit where they do? If you're not part of the same household. Did you see
What,
that
for fishing?
Yeah.
Huh. How would they? Are they gonna have somebody there checking licenses?
I heard a story about someone yesterday.
Oh, really?
I can't say. Yeah.
I took my brother fishing. He's not in the same house.
We'll talk off camera.
weeks
but
ago.
I mean, I heard some shit. I was like, wow, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when this shit comes out, this will all be passed.
I hope.
Yeah, that would be cool.
In another month
Yeah.
or so.
Who knows? I'm just going about life as normal.
Yeah. You got to, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same, but I'm trying to make sure that
Well, I'm not
I don't
going
get
out
fucked
with
up and bring it back to my
Yes.
dad.
I'm not going out and fucking like partying with like 50 dudes
Right.
or like, you know, like, or going out to like a big, it's kind of like keeping my interactions to a minimum as much as I can.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
still-
already antisocial anyway, so this is perfect.
Yeah, it was funny because the first time I went over to his house, he's like, "All right, you got everything? Okay, goodbye." It was so rad. I'm like, did he just kick me?
Hey, do you guys want to hear about the first time I met Hopper? He
There's a
looked
lot
at
of
me and he
stories
slapped
like that.
his dick in my face.
All 2 inches of it.
Yep.
One at a time.
There's a lot of those stories. Don't worry about it. Just get over
God. But
Let's talk about. We're sorry, we're drinking. This is a fun time, dude. I'm
good
stoked to
stuff
do
on
this
a
again
Saturday.
in person.
Hey, this shop though, by the way, give these
yeah,
guys
let's talk about
this
LA
is
Fishing
bitchin'.
Alliance. So this is Dean's new shop we're at today.
This is really cool.
If you heard of Liquid Assassins, he's the owner of Liquid Assassins, and this is in San Pedro. What's the address, Dean?
389 West 6th Street.
Huh? 389 West 6th Street in San Pedro, next to Nico's Pizza. So it's gonna be a new shop. We'll probably do some podcasts out of here a lot.
Super cool. They're doing
they're gonna have a lot of cool shit. They got some Rego swim baits, all kinds of shit. They're gonna have in war baits, cool baits, you name it.
cool part of town too. Like it doesn't look like much from the front, and then it's like half
You
a
come in
football
here,
field
yeah,
long. It goes way back. It's really
They're
cool.
gonna have everything in here, so it'll be a really cool shop, and we're gonna try to do a podcast out of here more, just because he's got the room.
Down the street from what, San Pedro Brewery? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So
And we can get some captains in maybe, because these fucking assholes are right down the street, right? Yeah.
it's sweet.
Yeah. So when you bring your whaler back, did you start tearing it down right off the bat?
No, I fished it as it was for a while.
Really?
And then the motor started taking a crap on me. And then I took it to James Shamblin also. And he helped me, like the fuel pump went out and like the throttle cam was, I said a cam? There's like a weird little
Yeah, it is,
plastic
yeah.
piece that
I'm
broke.
hoping to get James on soon, because he moved back to Whittier, what I heard. So I'm going to have to close him somehow to come on the podcast.
He
James
will.
is the man, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be like, let's talk about punk the whole time, and then trick him and be like, all right, let's talk about fishing.
So let's talk about your fighting shoes you keep by the door.
Let's talk about DYF.
If you ever,
Band's so good, dude.
If you get him
I
on-
still listen to him. They're badass.
Dude, that
yeah.
intro when
James
they
is
open the beer, dude. All
Right.
right. Dude, that's a fucking...
Foundation.
if you
Yeah,
ever get
James.
him on, remind him to tell you the story about getting in the fight and throwing pool balls at people. It's
He's
so,
the best, dude.
It's
He's
so
crazy.
You know
funny.
what was awesome? That Evan told the story about the lady at Catalina.
Oh yeah.
It was fucking pretty cool that he was
Right.
like, yeah, you know what happened?
I wasn't there.
I think they pushed him like some
Downhill.
like, older fucking lady on him. Like
On James?
No,
Or on Evan?
On Evan.
Oh yeah.
Like she
townies,
was like,
the townies.
dude, she was like
Oh, on him.
drunk, and she's like, and they threw him in a room. Or I was, if you guys listen to Evan's podcast, he talks about the whole thing. It's fucking hilarious. Like,
That's funny. I don't remember that. Maybe I didn't hear it. I listened to one of them. Does he have more than one?
he had that one. He talks about it.
How do I not remember that?
I don't remember that. Listen to that.
Are you
I
sure it
listened
was
to
on
his
there?
podcast. It was cool.
Maybe it wasn't. I just
Maybe
gave it
afterwards.
away.
I don't remember anything like that. I listened to it.
But anyway, so your
wow.
motor started dying out. Is that
Oh,
when
yeah.
you like said, "Fuck it"?
So
I gotta...
then it's an 80s clamshell Mercury two-stroke, so you can't get parts for it. Some dude in Kentucky has bought all the parts and is hoarding them.
Are you
selling
fucking serious?
a $4 part for $80. I had to end up buying this cam. It was like should have been $2. I spent like I think $120 off eBay
for that engine.
And James is like, dude, this is the only place I could find this thing. So I fixed that, I got it running, and then shortly after, I was like, man, I'm gonna sell this thing and just start redoing it now while
The
I
engine.
can, while the engine runs.
Yes.
So I took the whole engine off. I built a little motor stand for it. I took everything off and sold it all for $1,000. The guy came and I'm like, hey,
score.
check it out. I started it up right there. And I'm like, dude, it works perfect. And
Hey, fucking rip-off artist over here.
And you're all, hey, by the way, here's the
$1,000.
right, here's the
Wait till I tell you about the trailer.
Let's hear about the
Hey,
trick.
I'm a carny, bro. Don't fuck around.
You're a
That's how
gypsy.
you-
You're a gypsy
Something
king.
you don't need for a lot of money.
Hey, look at that mustache, Gypsy King.
$1 or
It's
less,
just
$1
a
or
distraction.
less.
I don't even like this, but you can't stop talking about it. It's already working.
Conversation piece.
So you sold the motor, and then you're like, "Fuck it,
I
got
sold the motor, and then I bought all the fiberglass materials with that.
Nice.
And then started grinding. Ripped the carpet out. I started with obviously the worst spots I can see. And then eventually I ended up just taking an angle grinder with like you can buy this flat sanding disc attachment. And I just did 40 grit and just ground all the gel coat off all the way down to the fiberglass.
on the deck or on the
Everything.
Wow.
The deck and the hull.
I'm itching just thinking about that.
Yeah, it was years of sanding, dude. But
It took you that long?
it was all spider cracked. I had friends come over. My buddy Nate came over. He would come on his days off or after work, and I wasn't even there. I would just leave sandpaper in it, and he would come and like hand sand the corners.
Did you leave beers for him?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Because I would definitely be if
in
you're
the
like,
bow
Nick, hey,
locker.
there's beers right here. If you, fuck yeah, I'll be
that's
there.
how I got everybody. I would just send him a picture of me putting ice in, putting rock salt on top of it, and then the beer.
Fuck, you don't
The
fuck
rock
around.
salt is what gets him. And then I'll make these yellowtail sandwiches. I'm like, oh, I'm making sandwiches too. Come
fucking
sand for a little
guy,
bit.
dude.
Damn.
But I ended up sanding a majority of it myself.
Yeah.
I did have a lot of help from friends, especially like those little corners that you had to hand sand.
Yeah.
That was major. And then I flipped it, sanded the bottom, and I basically, all the gel coat was spider cracked all the way down to the fiberglass. So I didn't want the spider crack.
Did you
so
have
I
to
just
fuck
took
with
it
the
off.
fiberglass at all or no?
A little bit,
Yeah.
not too much. I kind of kept as much gel coat as I could. And then obviously I had to refabricate parts of the hull where I had to take the cancer out. So if you want to, anybody looking to do something like this, you go on Continuous Wave, and there's just type in whaler restorations, and it'll come up. And there's the actual like old write-ups from Whaler. It's called the Whaler Way on how to repair holes and the gel coat on your
Yeah.
whaler. And there's a specific way that you have to do it.
Wow.
But
that-
it's all pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's straightforward.
Just a little bit of elbow grease.
A little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of research.
Yeah.
Continuous Wave.
Yep.
It's a forum. There's so much information on there. And you just look through there. You should be able to find it pretty quick. That's how I found out all the information.
Because this was 2000 what?
2014. I bought it in 14. I think I started ripping it apart in like 15 or 16.
And it wasn't as
Rad.
the social media and the internet wasn't the same as it is now, where you can find shit quicker.
Well, the internet was the same.
Really,
I found
anything-
all the information
everything
on
quick.
the internet.
You talked to Eric. He helped you out a little.
I talked to Eric about a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then local boat shops. I went there as far as like how to get the gel coat done and stuff.
Is there any other local dudes that are like really good at building like whalers?
I don't think there's any dedicated shops for it per se
No.
that I can think of
Yeah.
offhand. Because there's really no money in it, you know.
Yeah, it's more like a personal.
Yeah, it's like
endeavor,
a
you know?
yeah, definitely.
But you don't really like for people that are listening or might be interested in buying a boat. You don't have to go through the process.
No.
That I
No,
mean,
not
his
at
is
all.
like he'd never sell it. He's going to be like what Viking Funeral put you in there.
Yeah.
Die in
fucking
it.
Ragnar
Yeah,
over here.
that's like. But you can buy it cool and like Charles Benyavis.
Yeah, you
Dude,
got that sick
that thing
one.
is
Yeah.
fucking bad.
I haven't
cool
even
thing
seen
is-
it yet, but he
It's
sent me some
nice.
initial
It's
pictures.
very
and I'm
nice, yeah.
Fuck, that looks cool.
That's what's great about whalers. Even mine, I didn't have to do anything. I could have repowered it and left it. It would have been sick.
Yeah.
But I just, that's
But you
how
like
I
to
roll,
tinker with
you
shit.
know? Yeah.
You like tinkering with shit.
Yeah,
so it's like-
exactly.
yeah.
But if
Oh,
somebody's
like-
wanting to get into a boat, you don't have to get a bay boat. You know, that's a shit ton of money. Plus, where are you going to store the fucking thing?
Yeah.
You know, if it's big or whatever. And, you know, it's just
That's
a lot-
another
lots of
thing
power.
with locally. Like, I feel like a lot of dudes want to have a big boat, and you don't have to fish calicos or spotties or any of this. I mean,
I have a 13. It fits in the garage.
Yeah.
You can do everything with it. You can buy it with most people's tax return.
Right.
Or saving for a couple
hey,
months.
Trump, the
Well,
fucking,
where's it at?
Sugar daddy.
hey, I got it.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah, we got a nice one too. Just right back in savings. It's crazy.
Yep.
But
Same,
aluminum
same.
boats are killer too. Like my first one, well, I had a little inflatable. My first boat ever was a little 8.6 Achilles. And I'd throw it in the back of my truck and launch it in the back bay of Newport and I'd go down to Long Beach and launch it back there. But
Well, how old were you then?
high school,
How good was spotty fishing then? Really?
I mean, it was good, but not like, numbers were up.
Yeah.
Size was, you could go out and catch
Do you think you got better the older you got? Like, or you figured out different techniques?
I got a little bit better as far as being more proficient, but, than just fucking, I don't know, man. You know
You're
what I
so
used to do?
humble and shit,
Oh,
you know,
you know
like
what was
you're like
rad?
an asshole.
When I first got into it, I'd have 2 rod holders and I would troll bombers, those little crankbaits.
Oh yeah. Same
And
here,
I'd
dude.
I'd be go, da. All of a sudden, one rod would go like that,
oh,
and,
sick, I
and then
gotta
the other
do
one
that.
would go, and I'd bring one in, I'd bring the other, and then I'd fish there, and then I'd go troll around some more. But
I still troll. I trolled yesterday.
did you?
What did
Not
you
yesterday,
troll?
Everything.
DD22s?
No, I troll. I got some Lucky Craft deep divers. I have some of those. What are they? The Rapala dredger.
Oh yeah.
Those things.
I
are
love those
sick.
things. Dredgers
I got
are
some
fucking
Ristos I troll.
Look at
But I
you.
almost every time come in the harbor I troll.
Why not? Right?
Yeah.
Lately, I haven't been fishing any spotties. I'd rather just go outside, fish calicos,
And come back in.
and then on the way in, like as soon as I get to the mouth of the harbor, I'll just try on a little crankbait, and you catch like 3 or 4 fish on the way. It's crazy.
I used to love going.
Can't believe
when
it
the,
works so good. It's so
when
fun.
the bait barge was there for fucking barracuda.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's tons of cuda.
Dude,
right
it would
there.
be so fun just to Lucky Crafter. Bam.
I used to throw
Yeah.
those little crippled herrings. It was just like a
Dude.
metal spoon with a single hook on
Yeah,
it.
So
that's
Throw it
the
up
best.
there.
Yeah.
We started taking our Castmaster on the trout rod.
Really?
And just
Yeah.
like
Oh, God, that
roping
must have been
cudas
so
on
fun,
that.
man.
If you got
But
kids,
they just stink and they flip like crazy, and you're trying to get
Yeah,
this tiny
kids
hook out
especially.
of there.
Like I feel like when your kids catch something good like that, they're like, "Oh fuck,
what's that? Take my picture.
dude!" I had my kid. We entered that tournament last year as an anglers clothing tournament, and we did it in Mission Bay, and I had help from Bobby who told me what to do. So, but my kid flipped the rod. I told you about it. Flipped under the dock.
Oh, that's right.
Fucking felt the bite, landed the fish, and he caught like a 14. I was like, dude, I was.
What?
We're
Nice.
yelling.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's kid.
And he landed. I didn't touch anything. We measured it. I was like, I put the picture up. I think it's my hand and his hand on the working class serial board. And I was like, that was like, we worked hard for him to flip.
For that one
Like,
moment.
dude, we worked like
That's
fucking
so
a
rad.
month of like 2 days a week just flipping.
in the pool?
Oh,
casting,
practicing?
casting,
Yeah.
flipping. Yep.
Oh, nice. That's
So he
awesome.
got it, and I'm like, all right, cool. So he wants to go again, but I take him rock fishing.
Cool.
Like, I think with kids, it's like, you got to be. And then the older one's a fucking dickhead, and it's like, he's into like girls and like skating, and like he doesn't.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
What has that
I
make
know
you
it's
dickhead?
great, yeah.
It's one less person you got to go take fishing, though.
What did I tell Fred Clinshaw? I told him this. He's like, how's your older? I'm like, you know him. He's into fingering girls and fucking and Fred's like, yeah, so am I, bro.
Who is it?
He said something funny, dude. It made me fucking laugh my ass off. That we were
great.
just texting back and forth. But I mean, shit like that. I mean, talking about the spotty fishing is like, that made my day. Like,
Yeah.
with kids, it's like a little different.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you got both you guys know, but you
See,
don't
that-
think spotty fishing was way better then? Like,
It was not, yeah. I mean, it was, but it's not like, oh my god.
No, no.
But we did look. I was looking back at some old weigh sheets. Now it's like top 3 teams get 5 fish, and then it's like a 4, 4, 3, 2.
What
one,
were
one,
your
one.
weigh sheets like
Dude,
back in the
fuck,
day?
I'll send you pictures. Or
dude, 9 pounds
crazy.
it kills it right now.
10, 11. Fuck, dude. I think there was one tournament that had 12, maybe
Shit.
12 pounds for 5. Yeah,
That's
but it would
big.
go 5, 5, 5 all the way down. You come in with 8.5
rad.
pounds, and for 5, which you're in 23rd place. Oh shit.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
It's tough with spotties because they're so accessible.
Do you think
And
short, and I think walking docks might, like nothing against kids walking docks, but
No, that's awesome. Good
yeah.
for them.
That's,
Totally.
But
I
that's
mean,
why it's a little bit
It's a
slower,
little
you know?
slower, I think.
But it
because of
cycles
that.
too, man. Like the
Yeah.
water quality couldn't be as good now with so many more people, all the runoff, all the bullshit, The seals, how many of those things eat a
Right,
day,
Yeah, right.
They're all fattened up, sitting on the dock, almost sinking the dock.
Mission Bay was pretty fucking sick when I went down there, though.
Yeah.
I pre-fished one day,
Yeah, Mission's fun.
dude, and just
It's
when
fun
the
because it's so
eelgrass,
shallow everywhere, too.
the eelgrass, a whole area that has all the eelgrass and just launched to Mickey
Yeah.
Axe blades. Fucking fun, man.
I love
San
Mission.
Diego Bay is fun behind Coronado if you just want to go catch
Yeah.
a bunch of minis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And there's ospreys there. You could feed the ospreys.
Yeah, that's cool. That's what so funny. Ed Smith's taking all these pictures of these ospreys with these big spotties, and he put it up on Instagram. And I said, somebody needs to go thin those ospreys out. They're fucking up the spotty fishing in Huntington Harbor.
Huntington Harbor sucked dick lately, dude. For me,
I love
maybe
hate-
not you,
No, it sucks for me every
I
time I,
haven't
go in
fished there in years. It used to be good when I'd fished there a lot. But
dude. I
haven't been in a long
started
time.
fishing when I started fishing there. I think it was like 3 years ago, and I went with my son, my oldest, and I was throwing little mini hammers
finger
like
banger?
the finger banger. And I threw mini hammers. I didn't know what I was doing. So someone's like, "Oh, I looked online." I said,
Those
"Throw
little
the
tiny ones?
one and a half
rad.
on fucking 8-pound fluoro," and I caught a 2.
Oh, shit.
I think a 2.5
Nice.
on a
good
spinning
one.
rod. And I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
It makes sense. I feel like that harbor just gets pounded worse than anything else.
Every time I launch out of
It's a
there,
little bit smaller, too.
Sterile.
no one fishes
I'm curious to see
the
what's going
docks as much. I don't think they fish all
It's
that.
because there's no
wetlands.
fish in the docks.
They go to the wetlands.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, there is usually not. EB knows.
Anyways, so they're redoing the mouth of the harbor.
Your buddy-
I'm curious to see how it's going to change
yeah.
once they move that, because it's going to get a lot different flow through there. It already rips.
Oh, because they're
underneath the
changing
bridge.
it with the. What are they going to do?
They're going to section off and put a wall between where you normally go out. You go out under the bridge and then around that little jetty
Yeah.
to go out. Well, where that jetty is, they're just going to block it off. So you're pretty much, I think, just going to go straight out. So the Navy will have their separate entrance.
So,
and then
you
the
don't have
public
to
will
go
have
all the
their
way
entrance.
to the right anymore. You're going to go
I
straight.
think they're
out?
going to add another jetty parallel with the south one.
Are they going to fuck with Surfside?
No.
I don't think so. I think they're
They're
going
gonna-
to keep those two existing jetties, but they're just going to put one in the middle. Is
Yeah.
what it seems like.
I think,
Oh,
the
okay.
Surfside jetty, I think they're
Yeah.
going to make one on the uphill side of that running parallel, and that'll be for recreational boat.
Yeah.
And the other one will be just for Navy.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So we'll see without that big wall that blocked a lot of the tidal movement
that's
before.
right.
And there was a ton of tidal movement in there, man. Like on my TM, on like big tidal movement days, I'd have a hard time on full power staying in the same spot.
Yeah.
I'd almost have to get on the main and then just
Yeah.
drift it, you know?
Robert's got that place dialed. You go fish with him a lot, huh, in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got it dialed.
He usually showed me how to fish it. He was
Really?
like, "Oh, we do this," and we would go, and he'd like rope them all, catching huge ones, and I'd get like one. I'm like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Who's
They'll catch
Robert?
shit
I'm
in there.
sorry.
Robert Montenegro.
Is that
Armand Black
IP
on
swim baits?
Instagram. No, that's Robert Lagrimas.
Okay.
Robert Montenegro is the Black Mountain.
Oh,
He's
wow.
the dude. He's cool.
Super
one of
cool
my
guy, yeah.
one of my good buddies. He's got an aluminum crest liner, which is why I was talking about the pinche little spot holes in it. He's been battling that problem forever.
He doing the same thing, huh?
Yeah, with an aluminum.
Fuck, dude.
And just like kind of like patching it and fixing it.
On his gas tank.
No, on
No,
the
on the
actual
boat itself,
hull
yeah.
itself. Yeah, it gets just saltwater just corrodes aluminum.
No,
It
I
gets
know.
all-
Mine, like, now it's painted, but the assing, the paint's coming off a little bit.
Yeah,
and
well,
I'm
it's
like,
probably worse underneath the paint.
Yeah.
There's
It's
so
probably
much
hiding a lot.
shit
That
about
could
And
those
it'll-
stress
things.
me out.
Yeah, good. You should be stressed out.
I guess I'm going to just take the motor and change it to a fucking whaler.
They just sell the whole thing. Buy something with the Yamaha.
Recycle the thing.
So once you, I'm sorry, we keep getting off track because
All
these are
good.
two buddies of mine I like to get drunk with and talk shit with. So let's talk about you take it all the way down to the fiberglass. You start gel coating. You find someone to gel coat your fucking
Yeah,
boat, right?
who did that for you?
Yeah.
This dude, Jaime Camacho, I have his number if anybody wants it. I'll pull it up. I'll put it on here because he's a cool ass dude. So I took it there.
You can just
already
tell me and I'll
stripped down.
fucking be like, boop, 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 boop. I guess
let
not. I
me
guess
find
Hopper
it.
doesn't want to fucking listen to me.
What's it do
I don't
right
know his number. I have to look at
Oh, okay. Sorry. Do you guys want another beer? You want another beer, Hopper?
it. Memorize it.
I'm
man.
Coach.
I gotta take
Hopper?
a leak.
You want to take a pause real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me find this guy's number.
Weakness.
Good.
He's getting into the zone. I'm good still.
You don't want nothing to eat, Evie?
I'm good right now. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, thanks.
Look at him, dude. Like an Aztec
That guy
warrior.
crazy eyes?
He's got crazy eyes. Why don't you eat when you drink?
It's a sign of weakness.
Whoa, that was primal.
That was so marine. Think about the intro of the podcast.
That was it.
Dude, did you
shit.
see that movie with Benicio del Toro when they escape from prison? I forget the name of the show. It's not a movie, it's a show. Oh, it's a
I
little
love
bit
Benicio
older.
del Toro.
God, it's so good.
You ever seen Way of the Gun?
I don't watch
it's
TV.
awesome.
Shut that cunt's mouth up or I'm gonna fuck start.
That movie's gnarly. How's the epic battle scene in there?
Dude, that beginning part is so good when the chick's running her mouth and he goes, "Shut that fucking cunt's mouth." I was like, oh.
Benicio del Toro's the man.
Usual Suspects, right? I mean, fuck.
Yeah,
You can't
That's
beat
not
that
the
movie.
show I'm
But
talking
no,
about.
you can't beat that movie. Like, did you find the guy's number?
Oh yeah.
Let me look it up again.
Look at here we go again. We'll take a break for him to do it.
714-865-9927.
And he does gel coating. That's what he does.
all the spraying. He sprayed primer on my boat.
Really?
Gel coat. Yeah, I took it back and forth like probably 6 times
How did you find him?
from the guys at West Coast Marine.
Okay.
They're like, hey, this is the guy who does all our gel coat. Just call him, contact him.
Oh, he can
was
color
awesome.
match probably really good too, huh?
Probably. Mine was all custom color, but
So you
I'm
had-
sure he can
you
color
had him
match it,
do,
no problem.
uh,
That's all he does. He's the gel coat.
Do you have to prime before you gel coat?
Yeah.
You do.
depending on the condition of your boat. And
What kind of primer do you have to use?
I don't know. He sprayed it. He was like, "This is what you need."
Okay.
So he would spray the primer on. He would spray like the guide coat, which is like a contrasting color, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Sand it till you see pink. When you see pink, stop." And then I'll bring it back. He'd spray another coat on, a couple coats of primer. Sand it till you see pink. When you see pink, stop. And I did that like 4 or 5 times. And then I patched up all the little pinholes and then took it back, and then he sprayed all the gel coat on for me. I took it home, wet sanded all the gel coat. And I only did that on the bottom. And after wet sanding all the gel coat on the bottom, it was so much work that I just all grip the inside. So I'm like, I'm not sanding.
All grip is
All grip's like a top coat paint.
okay.
It's a 2-part.
And the thing is, people don't know. You know a lot about painting too.
It's
Right.
like polyurethane or some shit.
I don't know.
Didn't
I
your
can
dad
read,
paint or
I
something?
can read instructions. all grip comes with a book
You're such
with
a
all the
fucking
instructions.
asshole, you know that.
It's common sense, dude.
Hey, your mustache.
It's like
matches
baking.
your attitude, you fucking asshole.
Whatever, dude. Sorry, I can read. I'm an asshole.
Sign up.
I'm a reading asshole. Deal with it.
Didn't your dad paint or something?
Yeah, he did.
So then you got a fucking foot up above everyone, dude. Come on, I mean, like a little more.
I thought the mustache was a foot
That
up
too.
above
Then.
everyone.
To give you a foot up above.
Hey,
in
this
a
guy
minute.
starts drinking Modelo's, dude, and he fucking becomes a comedian.
So yeah, I'm born with a paintbrush in my hand, and I'm like a natural painter,
Right.
so it was just easy for me. So sorry if you want to
Right.
restore your will,
There
you
you
can't
go.
do it unless you can read.
Did you do that? Did you do that behind that yellowtail behind there? Is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
his
killer.
present from last year.
That thing's sick.
Let's look at it.
It's pretty cool. It's art.
Yep.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
floater.
Check out his artwork.
It's
Hopper
not
doggy.
for sale either.
Hopper doggy.
Anyways, so All Grip has a full little book of everything. And so if you're going to go below waterline, above waterline, if you're going to use this line of their paint, if you're going to use that line of their paint, and it tells you what primer you need to use, what grit you need to sand it to before you apply the top coat paint, how to apply the top coat paint. I did all of it. I sprayed it. I rolled and tipped it. Rolled and tip it is the ticket. Because spraying it is just such
Does
a
All
mission.
Grip have like a sand in it, or is it like a
No, All Grip is just the brand.
Regular
It's like
paint? Okay.
what's the other one? There's another big one besides All Grip.
Seekins and Interlux or
Interlux, yeah, it's the other big one. It's just like it's a really nice top coat paint.
Okay.
It's not holding up as good as the gel coat, obviously, but I mean, for how easy it was compared to the sanding,
oh jeez.
you can't spray gel coat like a nice finish because it's so thick. It has a little bit of, quite a bit of orange peel to it, and which you have to sand all out. Wet
I
sand.
couldn't imagine because I did a patch on my Invader. If you guys heard the story, I dropped my Invader off the fucking trailer at
That's
Dana
right.
Point.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fucking all the way off, and
That is
the
good.
dude that's gonna buy the Whaler, the big Justice,
Oh,
is the
yeah.
guy that dropped it off my fucking trailer. But I patched that whole corner.
It's a lot of sanding, right?
Dude,
it's a lot of work.
just to get it smooth and to be nice, it was like, and polish it. Like,
Yeah.
it was fucking took me like a good day. Just a little fucking, you know?
It took me months.
Yeah.
Multiple
To do the bottom.
months. Yeah.
I
to
quit
hand
counting
sand
the
bottom,
screw
yeah.
holes at 120 on mine that I filled.
dude.
And there's a whole
Yeah.
thing about doing that because you can't just when you put a screw in and it kind of goes spider cracks a little bit. You got to grind all that spider crack out
Oh,
and
really?
then countersink
Otherwise,
the hole.
it'll just come right back out.
yeah, it just pops right back
instantly.
through. So,
Do you have to like, if you countersink, it doesn't matter?
well, it just exposes more surface area, so it has more to bond to. But then you can't fill that hole. If it's a pretty gnarly hole, it kicks off too hot, then it cracks. So what you just filled it with is already fucked to begin with. So you got to do it in small little increments.
And then
But-
only mix at 0.5%. There's a mix ratio
Yeah.
for catalyst
what
to
does
resin.
that mean?
Just
You
look
can
it
light
up.
a
It's
fire
0.5%.
if you want.
Yeah, if you put too much catalyst in there, when it kicks, it creates heat, and it'll literally catch the foam on fire. You'll burn the.
Has
boat
that happened
from
to you
the inside
before?
out. Almost. That's how I found out.
I've had it
I
steaming
my-
a couple times, yeah.
I had my buddy come over. He was glassing surfboards at the time, and I was like, "Hey, It was the first time I actually tried to like fix the big. It was like a 6 by 12 inch section in the deck from where the console was mounted, where I
Yeah.
took all the foam out. And he was like, "Oh, just pour the resin in there; it'll fill up." And I was like, "Oh, that's what I was gonna do. Sounds good to me." I'm like, "How much catalyst do we put?" He's like, "I just put a lot." And we put we mixed probably like 2 cups, and he put like half the bottle of catalyst in
shit.
there. And we poured it in, and we're just like watching it, and I'm like, "Oh, it's kind of smoking." And he was like, oh, he's like, yeah, I can't leave like a big container of it sitting around because it'll catch fire. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
classic.
And I literally grabbed a big flathead and was like digging this like goopy, hot, sticky
To
resin
make
out.
sure it doesn't start
So
a fire.
yeah, and I dug it all out. It was hot, dude. And like threw it on the driveway out front, and it was like still steaming, hot as fuck.
Dude,
You couldn't
that's
even put your
scary,
hand next to it. It was
dude.
like a campfire. So then I was like, "You're done. You're not helping anymore." So I Googled the internet. I'm like, "Oh, how do I mix up resin?" And there, you can mix it up to percentages. And it's like certain
there's a
drop.
recipe.
Yeah. So mix it to 0.5%, nothing more than 0.5%, especially if you're doing something where it's up against the foam.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is putting screws in the boat. If you're going to do that, just 0.5% and use laminating resin.
This is with any boat, right? Because it's fiberglass. I mean,
Well, the difference with the Whalers is it's like a Nerf football that's been fiberglass. So, but if you have a boat that's got wood behind it,
It doesn't matter.
it's
so
not
that,
as,
so
not as
that when they
sensitive to-
build the hull for the Whaler, is it out of foam first?
they'd
and
build
then
a top half and a bottom half, and they would put a bead of this goopy glass shit together and connect the top. Then they put a tube down there and fill the boat with
inject it with
foam,
foam.
and just fill it. And it was at that
Did
time.
you see is it Eric Johnson? Skeeter? What was
Yeah, I know.
Did you see
Yeah.
a fucking Skeeter ever?
Oh, the top separated
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
bottom.
Did you see that or no?
I saw it
I've heard
after
about
it
that
happened.
a lot on
Yeah,
a few different
Dude.
boats.
yeah.
They were known to do that on Skeeters, like separate.
Well, I mean, it's just not designed for the water out here.
Yeah.
The ocean out here. It's like by Davis's and Farallons and Raddens. Those boats that were built here, Wilsons. Those boats, you can pretty much take them on anything. Ventura, you go out of Ventura and look at the type of boats that are coming out of there, or any
I
commercial boat
commercial
out of
fished
here.
on a
Those are-
Radden
Did you?
for a long time, and that thing, we put it through some shit, and it
Yeah.
handled all of it.
Fuck, dude.
Like
Heavy.
I'm like, oh, of course I'm gonna die out in the ocean. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And we made it back every time.
Yeah,
and that
those-
boat is badass, dude.
Yeah, they look bad.
Because our water here is unlike anywhere else. You know, it's back
Comes
in-
up out of nowhere. Too.
Yes.
Like I'm sure anybody who fishes a lot, you check all the forecasts and you're out and you're like, oh, it's supposed to be blowing today. Like, oh, it's not blowing at all. And then you get out like at the island, you're like, oh, it's not going to blow today. We'll be fine. And then you start
the
seeing
way
the
back.
Right.
clouds like streaking
Right.
up, and you're like, ooh, fuck.
comes up quick.
Wish you had more beer for this ride home.
Can we just stay here overnight, please?
Wish I had more beer for the ride home. Fucking dick.
After that, after
gonna
a
be
couple
long.
like gnarly days, I wouldn't go out there without a couple like strong IPAs. No, I'd save them for the ride home. Like, oh, okay, that's fine.
our little bit of Jack, right? Yeah,
Whatever.
he'll do it.
I was like Greg used to say. He goes, "Just going to be the two of us. We'll bring a 12, or if it's a 3, we'll bring an 18." Or I said, "What's up with that?" And he goes, "I like to get altered but not impaired."
Smart.
Yeah, because it just knocked the edge off that channel crossing on the way back.
Dude, when Wes and Matt came on, they're like, "Hey, we came to party," and I'm like,
No, not those guys.
dude, I was like, "Oh fuck," because he came on with Amadeo and he was kind of like reserved, Wes.
Yeah.
And then we tried to go do a podcast forever. This was a long time. This is like before you. And then I'm like, all right,
What's that supposed to mean?
before you.
Just kidding. Go ahead.
Look at
Continue
him.
with your
What a
story. I love it.
fuck- That mustache has a fucking attitude, huh?
It's got its own area code too.
And then he came on. They came on. They bring me some fish, and they're like, "Hey, I bring Matt." I'm like, "Cool." He's like, "We bring Fireball," so I sucked the Fireball dick. and then
Wes loves Fireball.
dude, we got by the end. Matt goes, "I think you ended the podcast at the right time." Because hey, Wes started going, dude. I could see his eyes change. He's like turning into fucking rager, and I'm like,
Wes is
"Oh."
one of my best buddies.
He's a great
fucking
guy,
love
dude.
that
He's fun. It was a fun podcast. If we had Randy Spicer and Florentino there waiting, so I was like, that's the hard part. Is
They're
when
like,
we
"What's
get
going on in there?"
When we get into long ones, it's like I wish we could have kept going and getting fucked up.
Yeah.
But then I got someone else coming on later, so it's like, fuck.
Mr. Popular.
No, not really. Just a dickhead.
People like to have fun.
Just Nickhead, right?
Nickhead.
That's what he calls me, Nickhead.
What's up, Nickhead?
So you got all the fiberglassing done. You paint the top. You go to Sea Deck. Did they make that specially for you?
Yeah, I took it to Blue Seas. I said it on the last one, but Blue Seas is the shit, dude. just took my boat there, dropped it off. I took my wife to the zoo while they did it.
Nice.
And I kind of just sent
It's
them.
in San Diego?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's in Mission Bay. It's right
Oh,
next to,
wow.
what's Jared's dad's? Fastlane. It's right next to Fastlane. I think they share the
that's
same
cool.
building as Fastlane, actually. So I took it there. They installed it, and I paid extra for them to install it, and I would recommend that for everybody because it's difficult.
I agree.
Putting out, it's a huge sticker.
Now he's got a dog. I
Just
went
let
over to
them
his
do
house
it.
that day to borrow a lure and had a
When he
little
yelled at you?
pressure washer out
Was
there.
it when he yelled at you?
Yeah. No, he told me to leave.
Okay.
We're
We got
done.
it. Get
Goodbye.
out of here.
It's awesome.
You have to go pee-pee again? Do you have to take a pee-pee break again?
Really?
Oh,
Are we
look
done?
at he's knocking over microphones.
Nobody
Too many
pees.
Modelos.
Nobody pees as much as Miss Chloe, for the record.
You checked it out that day?
Yeah, it's killer. He had like pressure washer.
Dude,
Like,
I seen
I'll be
it
right
too,
there
and
in a
I'm
minute.
like,
You can't pressure wash it too hard. You have to give it some distance because you can tear it up.
fuck yeah, you can, yeah.
But I mean, I'm telling you, I got to do a before and after with that thing. Like when Wes and I took it out to Colorado and fished, there are all these gnats that come out at night. I don't know if they're gnats or maybe they're termites. My sea deck was trashed after 3 days, and I would just leave it in the parking lot. We'd go in the hotel and like gamble and eat steaks, do man stuff.
Get drunk, get fucked up.
And I'd come back out, and there were like even more dead termites or whatever they are out there, like just smashed into it. And then
Locusts.
the whole way driving home through the desert, just baking it on there. I was
Oh,
stressing.
shit.
I could not wait for Wes to get out there so I can clean the boat.
You're so stressed. You just
Yeah,
want to
dude,
look calm.
fully stressed,
You're
'cause
not
it's
really
all-
fucking
it's so
calm.
funny.
White, dude. And it all came out. There's been stains in there before, like what's that? The Maui beef jerky, the spicy Hawaiian one. That
makes
stuff's
that
so
shit,
oily. And I've dropped that on there, and it left like super bad red stains. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be there forever.
What do you clean it with?
I use this purple degreaser
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Home Depot.
Yeah.
And I put it in a squirt bottle. It comes in like a gallon jug. Put it in a squirt bottle, and first I'll spray the whole sea deck, get it wet, and then I'll squirt bottle the whole thing, and then I'll hit it with a brush and suds it up, and then I'll wash the whole outside. I'll wash down the trailer, I'll do the motor, and then I'll come back. Usually I don't even need the power washer. I only take that out every 5 trips maybe, if that. Just the regular garden hose pressure will pretty much wash all that stuff like right out. It's crazy how good it works.
Yeah. I the only boat I've seen done like that is Mike Lane's.
Yeah.
Mike Lane.
You do it, I think, get it-
when he was roping him on the boat with you, dude,
With me?
with EB.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I heard that little thing when he kicked my ass out there fishing. I vaguely remember that, but it's true. Like I'm going, fuck, man, how the fuck is this guy? Never fished a breakwater before, and he's just like cracking him, and he just got into a rhythm. And
What you met Mike how?
surfing,
Surfing.
Yeah.
You knew Mike from surfing, not from fishing.
right?
He was fishing mud marlins then.
Yeah, he'd go down to the pavilion with his family and
Yeah.
he'd go get the mackerel or whatever
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the Asian fish market, and he'd get some big old pictures of
Fucking cool.
giant ones. Yeah,
That shit's
let him
fun.
go. Yeah,
That's funny, dude.
he's a really good surfer.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, that's the only boat I've seen the fucking sea deck on.
I'll never forget that though.
I fished on a couple
Look,
boats with
that's
it.
why
I
I'm
was
like,
thinking-
hey,
I
you
just-
got to talk about it too because it's a funny fucking
I
story.
forget
'cause
what
I'm
boat
like-
I was on, if it was my aluminum boat or my whaler or whatever.
Because the only thing I could hear out of that story is I've known you for a couple of years now.
That makes
You
sense,
going,
too.
hey, you're never gonna fucking see that again, dickhead. And that shit would make me lose my shit.
Oh,
for
it
him
was
to say
so
that.
funny. 'Cause I thought
Remember
I
when
was,
you threw all your rods and lures in Huntington too? You're all pissed off.
when I did?
Remember you messaged me?
Did he
You're
do
like,
that,
I just
really?
fucking threw my tackle box
Oh,
over
that's
the water.
right.
Did you?
And
Yeah,
then we
I-
saw him
I
like
just
2
fucking
days
chucked it
later.
on
You
the
Ike
rocks
and
and all.
Elliot your fucking
Oh,
shit?
I broke off so many lures one night. I said, you know what? Fuck it. And I took my rod and I threw it at the rocks. I go, apparently you need it. I chucked it.
Guaranteed smash.
And I said, apparently you need this rod more than I do, motherfucker. And I just left.
Dude. Have you ever got that mad before where you said, fuck this?
Did I look like I get mad?
God.
I was so bitter that night. I was over it. I was
That's
just like,
psychedelic
shut
shit.
up.
You
Come
never
on.
get mad.
I
huh?
forget who
You're
was
so
with
happy
me.
all the
Mad,
time.
dude.
No, you don't.
Just not often.
whoever was with me was on the back was just like, okay.
Dude, I just swim home.
See you later.
Classic. Yeah, it's fun times.
So at the end, You finished the gel coat. We're trying to go through the story somewhat.
Yeah, good luck following along.
Yeah, sorry. We
Right.
like getting drunk and talking, especially after this quarantine shit.
My wife's
I'm
like, when are you going to be home? I'm like, I'm going to be home by 11. It's fine.
not really.
Don't worry. I'll help you.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
She knows better. She's awesome.
It was going to be a long podcast. Oh, shit. 4-part episode?
So, yeah,
or what?
I finished the gel coat, sanding forever and
You had
ever.
to build a
and
console
ever.
too, right?
Yeah, I built it. I built
Yeah.
it out of African mahogany.
It's a wood console, not a fiberglass console.
It's wood. Yeah, it's all solid
Okay.
wood. It was actually...
How expensive was that mahogany?
Oh, it wasn't too bad. I bought it in
Really?
Austin, and I think it was. I don't know how the wood is measured there. It's so weird. It's like 4 quarters,
God.
5 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was 5 quarters, but I didn't want. It didn't need to be that thick. So I took it to my other buddy who does a lot of really sick woodworking. His Instagram's Coyote Woodwork. Just in case you want to buy
Yeah,
something
for sure.
badass.
Hey, another label. Bing.
Coyote?
Yeah. His name's Chris Hitchcock. He's super cool, dude. Anyways, he
Is
had
it
a
on
planer.
Instagram too, Coyote Woodwork?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
And I took it to him, and I was like, hey, can you help me plane this down? I don't have a planer. And he's like, apparently you can't just plane it. You'll fuck it all up. So he
So
had
hard,
it
right?
dialed.
Is it really hard?
Yeah.
And the way the planer works, too, it'll take like an initial, like an
Jump,
1/8
yeah,
gouge out of the initial part. So he like did some wizard wood stuff that I still don't understand.
And then they drum sand it too, don't they?
I think sometimes he didn't, but he just ran it through a couple times and thinned it out just because I wanted to keep the weight down.
Yeah.
And I built like a mock console out of cardboard just to kind of get the height where I wanted it. And then just
Yeah,
went
his is-
for it and figured it out. And then I coated it all with Interlux.
What did you use to coat
I think
the
it
wood?
was Interlux, and I
Because
used...
you have wood on yours too, EP, right?
No,
Mine's-
his is gel coat. The
Yeah.
seat's
No,
wood.
you don't have any
But
wood
it's just
on yours?
teak, right?
The
No, your
seat,
seat.
and the hatch on the front, I got from Mike Bonoff Lumber up
Yeah.
in, where's he at, in Commerce?
Yeah.
And he hooked me up a beautiful teak. But the console, we built out of birch, and then we glassed it, and then, like he did, I had a guy spray it with gel coat, and then
Yeah, that thing's badass.
Because even the console, just to do gel coat on your own would be a fucking bitch.
Yeah,
I
console's probably
sprayed
not
it
that
for
bad,
the
though.
repairs.
Do you have a sprayer?
Yeah, I have a.
Do you have to have a certain sprayer to do
You
it?
gotta have
You got to have
no,
a huge tank because it needs a certain volume to push that.
Yeah, you're
thick.
blowing a lot
Did
of
you try
air.
it too?
Yeah, my buddy, I sprayed all the primer on the inside after I was over the gel coat. I took it to my buddy's shop, and he has a huge compressor.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying like a nice spray gun. It was stainless, so I can clean it and use like acetone-based paints with it. And
You're shooting a lot of volume.
yeah,
It's like
you need like a big compressor tank to push all that volume out.
Makes
Well,
sense.
when I
Over
did this-
time too, like you can't wait for it to fill back up again. and
Those
spray
little
it.
repairs I sprayed, but fuck, it was a timing thing. Like you say, you mix the gel coat with the resin and the fucking thing, and then it's in a little metal cup, and it screws onto the bottom of the
You
gun.
get like what 30 minutes before it kicks, depending how
if
you mix
that,
it,
yeah.
and the ambient air temperature. Like,
And then what you got to do is you got to take
Just
the
pay
cup
somebody to
off,
do it.
dump that, clean it,
quick.
so it doesn't gum everything up.
You
But then
can't
there's-
roll it on,
No, it just leaves a shitty texture.
but you can't sand the
I've
texture.
heard
and keep-
stories
can,
about being able to
but-
roll and tip it on like a hot day.
Yeah.
I've never done it personally, but I've heard of it being done.
And then you got to spray this PVA over the top of it, this green
Yeah,
shit.
because it won't kick if
Yeah.
the air gets to it. So you spray like
Some
this
people take
liquid plastic over
yeah,
it to make it
saran
airtight,
wrap.
so
You can
it'll
throw
kick.
saran wrap over the top of it, and then let it kick off, and then peel it off, and then
Nah.
the
But
But
shit's
don't
like,
do not do saran wrap.
oh, it's a mess.
No, because it'll clump up and it'll like push.
Fuck
It'll
up.
make bubbles and it'll
Oh.
push into the gel coat, and you'll be left with these weird spots. You can buy the Prevail sprayer if you have to touch up a little thing. and
Yeah.
just-
Those are killer. Yeah,
Just spray it on.
of gel coat.
yeah. You can buy the gel
A little
coat and
sprayer,
thin it
just-
out with the Prevail sprayer.
Okay, cool.
I like touch ups. I've had to touch up some spots in my boat, and I just brush it on, and then I'll use the Prevail sprayer and just
Yeah.
let it kick, and then just like hand sand it down and buff it out.
But it's really not that hard. Like it's just like you screw it up, you sand it down, try it again.
Yeah, it's just elbow grease.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
beers. That's it.
Cool thing
Yeah,
about
of
kind
course, beers first thing.
beers.
So no beer, no work.
That's what I tell my wife when I work on the house. I wish you guys could have seen in the studio. So the pool, you've been to the studio. You both.
Yeah.
Okay, so that pool, we had it redone. A quarter of the pool on the bottom was filled with beer cans when I was working on the house. And the fucking Mexican dude's like, "Ay, oh my." He's like, "Did you drink all those?" And I'm like, Yeah, me and my brother-in-law and buddy. He's like, dude, there's like fucking 1,000 beers. I'm like, that's how we work, dude. If I'm not drunk, I'm not working, dude. You know, like I fucking worked on the house for 2 years. I'm like, fuck that.
I
dude.
knew a great mason, man. That guy would show up with the case and never missed a beat and worked all day.
Because you know why? Mason fucking sucks and you want to drink beers when you're doing it, dude.
He was on
I
a
used to
side
do-
job. He was a union guy, but he do it on the side.
Yeah,
with
dude.
beers.
If I'm gonna do a side job, I'll get fucking drunk all day long, dude.
Yeah, I used to do concrete work as a kid,
Right.
like high school before I joined the Navy for a couple years. And there was this dude, Ivan, who would his lunch was a 12-pack every
Dude,
day.
that
And
sounds fun.
This was union shit, but he was so old school. He would just like kick back, sit on his hard hat, and just like open his cooler, and there are 12 Coors
Bam,
Lights in there.
bam.
Drink 6 at like morning lunch,
right.
like
Yeah.
10 o'clock, and then when we took our next break, he'd like drink them all.
Dude, my
And
dad.
he worked his ass off, and he like
fuck
outworked
yeah,
me.
dude.
And at the time, I was like 19. He was probably 60.
It's
late
like
50s,
drinking them out
early
at the
60s.
desert. You know, they go through you.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, right, dude. Desert, you're fucking. I can drink 100 beers, dude. But what I learned is I think we went to the river 3 years ago, and I was running.
Dehydrated.
No, fucking. I see a sheriff put the lights on behind me. So I pull into a cove. My buddy's sober. I said, "Get the fuck out of the seat! Jump in the driver." I drop the trolling motor. He gets in the driver's seat. They're like, "Hey, let me see your fishing license." I'm like, "Here you go." Who's driving the boat? I'm like, "That guy." I'm dropping the trolling motor. He's like, "All right, see you guys later." I'm like, "All right, later."
Incriminated yourself, dude.
I was like, dude, I was so sketched out. So I'm like, yeah.
That's so
So
scary.
the last year we went, we took a pontoon, and I'm like, I'm not fucking driving. You guys can
Yeah.
drive it. But I like fishing my boat. I want to go there and fish my boat again because I can run.
don't get wasted.
troll.
I can't really fish tweaked.
That's pretty hard, my friend. I like to get wasted.
Yeah, I know it's
Not
tough.
fishing.
but you gotta have
Afterwards,
balance.
maybe, but it's already hard enough to stand up straight in the boat, looped out, and you're like, fuck. Maybe
We did good when we went on the pontoon. I think we caught like a couple good stripers and smallmouth.
Cool.
On light line, it was fun, dude. Like I had like 6 or 8 pound, just drop shotting, just killing them.
God, striper tastes good.
Yeah,
Such
right?
good fish.
Fucking right. So let's get back to your boat again. We keep getting off track.
And keep sanding. So the whole time we've been talking, I was just sanding.
No, you did. You started doing the sea deck.
Built the console, built the seat. It's all out
sea
of the
deck. So
same
then the
wood.
boat,
Sea
the
deck.
motor was the next thing.
Yeah, so I paid to have the motor mounted, and then I hooked up all the hydraulic steering. I ordered the Baystar kit. It's like $500, best purchase ever.
Yeah.
To have hydraulic steering on there, like I could
Because
just
you
let
wouldn't
go
have
and it
had
goes straight.
You wouldn't have had.
I was
hydraulic.
gonna do mechanical steering.
How often do you change out your hydraulic fluid on that?
Never. I haven't once.
Okay.
No.
Neither have I. But I
But-
was scared. I was
Oh, you
hoping-
have it too?
Never. Yeah, I never.
Oh,
did
that's
it.
killer.
It's not that big a deal.
No.
I filled it up with my buddy Tyler, and it wasn't a big deal. And then, so initially, I hadn't run any of the throttle cable or any of the wires going to the motor through any type of conduit. It was all just exposed, and I had wrapped it up with that. What's that self-adhesive electric-looking tape from Ancor?
Split loom? Is it?
No, it's not split loom. It's a tape. Anyways, I had it just taped up. And then I didn't want to put split loom on it because it gets kind of like beat looking real
Shitty,
quick.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I bought the really nice like full solid loom from Yamaha, and it's by the foot.
Shit.
How much was that shit by the foot?
I think it was like $70. It was like $10 a foot or $12
That's
a
not
foot.
bad, I guess, right?
But it's nice. But I had to. Well,
Is
I
it
didn't do
UV proof, dude?
Yeah,
Like,
it's badass.
all
It's
right.
thick, dude.
Yeah.
It's sturdy. So my buddy Bobby Harrison came over and helped me disconnect everything and fish it all back and forth through there. It was a nightmare. I thought it was going to be easy. It took us forever. We had to disconnect all the hydraulic hoses, plug them and tape them up, and then like fish them through with all the other wires.
Dude,
Like,
how fucked up is that?
it was intense. It was awful.
Listen, I did that
But
with
you're
the
glad it's over. When it's done, you're like, yes.
Yeah, it's so
I
nice
did that
and
with
clean
the fish
now.
finder, and I pulled the fucking kill switch off. Just one leg. And I'm fucking at the boat launch, and I'm like, what the fuck? I just got my oil change. I'm trying to fucking start everything. I'm like, what the fuck? You guys want another beer again?
I'll do one.
Want one?
Sure.
I'm good.
Want EB?
Gracias.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
And then I fucking was trying to start it. And then I called the fucking oil change guy. It was Advanced Marine. You know who that is?
Yeah.
The guy was a real dick to me. Maybe he's cool.
Maybe he had a mustache.
He did. Well, my uncle's in Bass Ackwards. He showed up. His name is Derek, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was really cool, but he was real mad that day. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with him. And I fucking hit him up, and he's like, nah, bro, we didn't touch shit. Get the fuck out. I'm like, all right, no problem. So then I took everything apart, and then I fucking took the whole shifter apart. And I wish I knew this guy's name. It was a mobile mechanic on Bloody Decks that lived in Westminster.
He came and helped you out.
No, he messaged me and told me what to do.
Oh, nice.
that's
for
cool.
free, dude.
That's
so I
way cool.
wish I could promote him to go check this fucking dude out. So he's like, Nick, he's like, I don't have the time. Take your shifter apart and check these 2 wires. So I did, and I found one was off.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
Dude, there's a big market for that right now because
Those are fine little wires too. I think it's like
Dude.
18 gauge. Or
Yes,
something.
it was fucked, dude. I was like,
mobile mechanic right now.
Dude, great.
Golden,
Yeah.
right? Because what's the place in Costa Mesa that just went out? Warner Boats.
they run out of business?
They're no longer in business.
Really?
Dude,
And then
guides.
John's Custom Marine's out.
Hey, some guides are going out too, dude.
That's
Really?
Mason, Mason Stoller?
Yeah.
Went out, dude.
Well, wasn't he having boat problems also?
He was, but I think it's done now with the fucking It's fucked. Like I don't wish that on no one, like.
This whole
No.
thing's just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What can you do though? I mean,
Just go with the flow.
I hope that sport boats can survive, because the potential for limiting the number of how the fuck are you going to stay?
Limited
They
and
can
buy
do it.
all
Those
that
guys are
fuel and
solid.
bait.
all they're gonna do is say, hey, you can't have you're gonna cut whatever you had in half. I think.
Yeah.
So say you had 60, you're gonna have 30 now. That's it.
I mean, maybe
Which
it'll
might
be
make
cool.
it better.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Raise the price a little.
Lighter
I don't give a
loads,
fuck,
yeah.
Yeah, I would pay more to have a limited
Yes.
load.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't fish on sport boats normally, but if there's a limited load, I have a lot greater chance of going.
Yes.
I
So
would
I'm
just
like,
see.
I'm not
I'd
gonna
hate
go.
to see that be hammered on by this, just because it's something so stupid.
It's so hard because you can't read it.
Yeah.
You read New York and you can see what they've done, but they're a different city. But you read here, it's like not bad at all.
Well, the population in New York is tenfold compared to here also.
True.
How many more elevators,
But
subways,
then the thing
and
is,
shit?
the subways. That's what everyone
Yeah.
says. The subways killed all of it. Like everyone's traveling the subway. That's how you're spreading it.
Right.
Yeah.
So who knows if we flatten the curve? I mean, like you said, how many people do you know? My fucking
Well,
cousin.
look at the regular flu too. I mean, I don't want to get into conspiracy shit, but
I like to because I could tell you're into it.
I have to like pull myself away. I think it's all
Hey,
bullshit.
you're a conspiracy
dude.
guy. Oh, yeah.
I'm just a realist. Like, give me the disease and let's ride. Fuck this.
Look at him, dude.
I think everybody should just.
Hey, this
get
coming
it.
from the healthy guy that you did buds, right?
Yeah, I'm still healthy.
Fucking dude, he could fight anything off.
You did buds, really?
Yeah.
Dicks,
Rad.
apparently.
Damn. Oh, cue the balls. Where's the balls dude right now?
More people are dying from the flu than this thing. It's
Right.
fucking stupid, dude. I feel like it's just a big experiment to see how much they can get away with,
know,
how much they
dude.
can control us.
I don't know. It's hard because it's like I don't know.
It's touchy.
I'm so
'Cause
in
then
the
there's-
middle. Like
there's
I'm
also
like
people who are like freaked out by it and believe it all and watch all the news. So they're like,
my wife.
the news is the news is the worst, dude. Imagine if there was no news and this was going on.
True.
It'd be fine.
Well,
I'd
you
be
know
like,
what?
oh, my
Hold
cousin
on.
got real sick.
Hold on.
but
You
she's
want to know
cool.
when it was? 10 years ago. I actually they gave me this shot for H1N1. They thought I had it.
Was that the hantavirus?
H1N1. I don't know what the fuck it
But wait,
was.
you're still here, right?
Yeah.
But
no, that was
the-
the rat. That was the rat.
No,
virus.
this was a pig flu.
Oh, gotcha.
So this was a long
Swine.
ago. Okay.
Yeah.
And it killed more people. I think it killed a lot of people. That's from what I read. SARS, yeah.
Yeah.
So they said, I think you might have it. Here's a shot. I didn't give a fuck. That was 29. I'm like, I don't give a fuck, whatever.
Yeah.
They gave it to me. I was fine. I just felt like shit. Like,
Do you remember
bad.
when you were young and people would smoke weed and go, this shit's got paraquat in it? And like they would use that stuff to kill bugs. That's what they should do. Fly the helicopters with the paraquat and just
Hey,
fucking
Hopper
just
has a lot of
gas it.
paraquat in them.
I'm over here like, what the fuck is paraquat? These guys are old.
Hopper, how old are
Totally,
you?
like,
36, dude?
straight.
What are you, 37?
Dude, look it up. You
Don't
know
worry
you're going
about
to
it.
Google it when you
How
get
old are you?
home.
Hey,
What the
Hopper,
fuck's EB
how old
talking
are you?
about?
Mentally or
Paraquat.
physically?
How old are you mentally?
7.
You're an old man. Look at that mustache,
I got
dude.
Divide
I'm
your
37.
age by 4.
I got a couple gray hairs in here, some here.
You're still looking solid, dude. You're still dusting
That hair
dicks.
is on point.
I feel like we did a good podcast, guys. I think this was a really fun one.
Super
Wait,
fun.
I actually thought about this. I want to say one thing. You're buying whaler. You want to mount some
hold
stuff
on,
on it.
Wait. Stop. I'm going to say best advice from Hopper, then best advice from EB. So give us your best advice give us some tips. Like if you're going to buy a whaler or even a used boat, that type of boat, give us some tips. Bam, 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 bam.
First off, obviously make sure it doesn't have a lot of delaminations on it, cancer, like old existing screw holes that are soft. If you push on it, stay away from that. When you do get it and you bring it home and you want to start mounting your trolling motor and all the stuff, the best way that I found to mount anything to a whaler, we talked about it and then I kind of just figured out on my own, is I drill a 3/8 hole right where I want the screw to go. And then I take an Allen wrench and I put the long end of the Allen wrench into my drill bit so that the Allen wrench is sticking out like this with the short end at the bottom, like an L. And then I put the short end into that hole and start the drill real slow and start reaming it out all the way down the whole length of that Allen wrench. And I'll spin it fast, almost like I'm blending the foam up and breaking it up. I take a shop vac, suck all the excess foam out of there. It's kind of tricky. It takes a while. And I take a long pair of needle nose pliers because parts of it will get clogged in the hole as it's sucking up. Pull those out, get all that little bits of foam out. Then you take laminating resin and milled fibers, mix that up, get an injector, and then do a half at a time, like fill half of the hole at a time, which is why you want laminating resin because it sticks to the existing resin.
Not finishing resin.
Yeah, so you put the laminating resin in with the milled fibers. You want it thick, like peanut butter consistency. Inject it in that hole halfway. Do all your holes wherever you're going to mount stuff. Once it kicks, come back the next day and do the other half, the top half. And those two resins will automatically just adhere together because they're laminating. Once that's done, you have a solid big plug underneath the fiberglass deck. Then you can drill and tap that. And then I put just a dot of 5200 or 4200 on there. And then just put your screw in there. And that's how I've done all the holes on my boat, anywhere anything's mounted. And it's
So that
solid.
resin, you tap the resin?
Yeah, you drill and tap it. You can get a tap
Really?
from McMaster Car
Oh,
or
shit.
wherever.
So
I did
they're
it without.
threaded. They're actually threaded.
I did it without tapping it, and it has a tendency to bust out, especially on the trolling motor.
Okay.
And then so I busted out my old trolling motor mount, which wasn't tapped. The whole screw just pulled out of the plug.
Yeah.
So then I drilled and tapped it on this next one, and still put the 4200 in there, and it's held solid.
Wow.
You can pick. I mean, I don't want to try it, but I'm pretty sure you can pick my boat up from the seat or the console or the trolling motor, and it'll be fine. It's solid.
Yeah.
I've ran it back. I've been out fishing, and the winds come up, and I'm literally like swearing, yelling out loud because it's so shitty, and I'm just like
I've done that
flying, like
so many
slamming.
times.
It's either you fly and slam, or
Yeah.
you're gonna go 4 miles per hour all the way home.
And
so I'm
wet.
just like wet, just
Fuck
getting
it,
black.
ride it out.
Literally like yelling, like "Fuck this fucking shit is bullshit." And just like bam, 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 and all those screws are still in there solid.
That's
It was
good.
the day I put
That's
them
awesome.
in there.
Great advice. Great advice.
So that's how you do it.
What about you, EB?
Shh.
Suck that
Just
dick.
don't buy a
Hey,
boat.
suck
Just
that dick
don't-
right there.
just don't buy
He's
a
not
boat.
getting close enough to the dick.
God. If I had to give one bit of advice, ride in the boat that you want before you buy it.
Yeah.
Because when I
Any
bought,
boat,
I had
any
never
boat
been
you
in
buy.
my 15. When I went from the aluminum to my 15, I just looked at the layout. And I was looking on that Continuous Wave website. That looks bitchin'. Has a 70. I put mount a trolling motor right there. That looks cool.
Yeah.
Found one in Huntington, and I said, "Do you mind if
How
I
much
see?"
did you buy yours for?
Way too
Sorry
much.
to get off topic. Too much? Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But well, mine was
Proceed.
mine was cherries because the guy had kept it in a place at the river in a garage, on air conditioned and all that bullshit. It was
Fresh
really,
water only.
Yeah, it was all in perfect shape. But I'd never ridden in one, so I said, "Do you mind if I sea trial it with you?" He goes, "Yeah, not at all." We went out of Huntington Harbor. You know how that shit box
Yeah.
gets.
Dude.
The
And
worst.
I go, "Oh fuck!" And I was like, and he goes, "Hang on," and he goes, "Roar," and climbs up, and we didn't get a drop of water on us, and it was like.
Dude, nice.
I go, "You can turn it around. This thing's sold, bro." And I would, it could have gone the other way. I could have bought that thing and not sea trialed it, and it was a shit.
But you
shit
got to
riding
see
boat.
trout.
You got.
Would
just,
you tell people to take a mechanic with them if they're really
Not
gonna,
necessarily,
No?
because if you're buying an older boat, you're really buying it just for the hull.
Yes.
You know, you can kind of salvage
You might
the
get
trailer.
lucky with the motor.
Yeah.
And it just don't buy it for the platform and your vision of building it. Whether it's, you know, the console on the side, the one in the middle, the trolling motor this way, the trolling motor, whatever. But look at that. Everything else is a plus. But sea trial your boat
All right.
first, or somebody that has one that you may want. Hey, I'm thinking about buying a boat like yours. You mind me? I'll pay for your lunch and your gas and your lunch. Let's go fish so I can
out,
feel
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That was the one cool
That's
thing
smart.
about doing the tournaments is I was able to hop on other people's boats and say, that one's killer for this one's cool for that. And so never buy a boat without riding in it first.
There you go.
didn't.
Hopper, where can they reach you out, bro?
You can't. Good luck.
What a fucking asshole.
I don't like anybody.
Hopper Doggy on Instagram. What shop do you work at if they want to get tattoos from you?
Just send me an email.
There you go. Email him.
Email's on my Instagram.
there
If
you
you can't
go.
find it, you don't want to get tattooed, so don't worry about it.
EB does a cool thing. Hopefully he's going to bring it back this year, SWBA.
The old tournaments.
Yes.
Somebody just asked me, you guys going to ever do one again? I said, I never say never, but we'll see.
I hope you do.
I don't fish
Maybe.
tournaments, but if he brings them back, I'll fish one.
Maybe.
Dude,
do like
it'll
a-
be a rager if you bring one back. If you bring it back, I think it'll be fun.
The fun ones are like the holiday, spots for tots where you just go around.
Or the wall banger.
Yeah, those were fun.
Dude, yeah,
Those were
that'd
cool.
be fucking a great event.
What
You
was
gotta do
it? Squid strips and what?
Oh yeah, what was it? Squid strips and
Bong rips.
bong rips. Yeah.
Both of you guys.
With paraquat.
It's paraquat.
Go look it up. I'm telling
Dude,
you.
I'm going
Paraquat.
to take little pieces out of this podcast for the preview.
Decker will remember it.
Paraquat.
Decker will remember. I remember.
Can you
Hey,
buy
did you
it?
ever play those poker games with Decker and all them?
I did not.
Did you do it when they busted him? Everyone.
Oh, SoCal Ocean Sports. That was a good story.
The dude hooks for hands. Is it Hooks and Crooks?
Yeah.
He
Hooks
invested
for
in
hands.
that.
He's awesome.
There's
That
a
guy's
guy
cool.
named Hooks for Hands too.
No, Hooks and Crooks.
Brad
badass.
Davis.
He's cool.
Yes,
Yeah,
dude.
Brad.
He
I saw him
messaged me
yesterday.
today. He's like, hey, I listened to that story and I fucking started laughing out loud when I was walking in public because he's like, I remember that.
He's funny.
Dude.
If you're
He
driving
said-
through Seal Beach, use your turn indicator. That's like that guy's big vice. He's like, I love writing up tickets for no turn indicator or something.
Oh, because it has all those weird little like cutouts that go down their shitty little
Right.
side streets with no parking.
Right.
I work in Seal Beach, so it's
Yeah, you can tell you
issue.
hate it. Hate it. Yeah.
Good
Well,
times.
hey, thanks
Just hit
again,
work.
guys. Check both these guys out. Check EB at SWBA. Check Hopper at Hopper Doggy. And check us out at Cast and Crank.
Yep.
Give us 5 stars, bro.
You can go buy a boat, have fun, take
Yeah.
your friends
Yeah.
out.
Get away with it. Later, guys.
Good.